you know. All right, hold on.
I like that, Don. That's good. Up close. There you go. I think Lorenzo might be froze.
Is he? All right. All right, we're good to go, guys.
All right.
We're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Arm Wrestling Showcase number 27. You all know our host, Kane Fontecchio with Alpha Empire Arm Wrestling, and myself, Josh Edwards with Nowhere to Run Arm Wrestling. Today, we're going to be doing a recap show talking about last week's East versus West 10 event, which was a super exciting event. We're going to be talking about some of our favorite matches and some of the results of the matches. Tonight, we have some familiar and special guests with us. We have Don Moorman, Ricky Ramos, and Lorenzo Munoz. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing great,
good, man.
Good.
Good.
Glad to be here again.
Yes, sir.
Kane, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm in a great mood too, because this is the first Wednesday in a while where I actually had dinner before the show. We end up,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So you won't be hangry.
I usually like just cruise in right from work, and then we end up
Because you're not you when you're hangry, Kane.
no. Then we'll have like a 3-hour show, and like I'm coming in like cooking for Emily and I at like 10 p.m. But we had some menudo. It was good.
Ooh, very nice.
How you doing, Josh?
Good, yeah, good. I'm over here. I got the candlelight next to me, trying to make the ambiance for my video performance. Instead of the big old spotlight that's over my head. Thank you. Yeah. No, just
we don't know it, but he's actually filming for OnlyFans right now. So
exactly.
Two streams going at the same time.
See, I already created an OnlyFans crew. It's called the Four Horsemen. You guys are the guys, and I just am recording it right now. So, your checks will be in the mail. Your checks will be in the mail.
I like it. Hey, all these cameras are chest up. The other cameras are chest down, huh?
Let's see.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. What is it?
What did everybody think about this last week's East versus West? Was it the best East versus West that we've seen? Was it? What do you guys all think? I mean, was it just really good? Was it as expected?
I honestly have to say, it was kind of, it was all right. I mean, to me, honestly, there wasn't like, too much new going on. It seemed like there's a couple like check chasers in there that were just there to be there from the performance stance. It seemed like there was a lot of just like, meh, glad to be here, but, it is what it is. There was a couple good matchups, but like a lot of it was like really one-sided, and I think a lot of people had higher expectations than what we got out of it.
Yeah.
What about you, Lorenzo?
Yeah, definitely expected more of a fight from the different competitors, I guess. But I think they had the big names though. They had the draw, they had the big names, and that's what we wanted to see. I think us being arm wrestlers and stuff, we want to see the grind,
Yeah, absolutely.
Don, what did you think of the pay-per-view as a whole?
I like Hutchins' match.
Yeah. I think everyone enjoyed that. He's always exciting to see arm wrestle. And that was a really good match. We've got Benjimac in the house. What's up, Benji? We got Rodell Escalara in the house. Rodell says Toddzilla is too strong.
Yeah.
Too strong.
That's a strong dude. I mean, especially the way that the Angarbayev, kind of legacy has been built up and shown that he's like a fundamental master, and he knows like arm wrestling technique in and out. And Devin obviously trolling Todd and things like that, with him being the worst technical arm wrestler. Regardless, he's like a Jerry Caderet or a Cobra, like where they have like their move and they stick with that and it works. And a lot of people don't know what to do with it. He can give up his hand and that side pressure if he needs
Right.
to. Now he's starting to add a lot of pronation to his arm wrestling. So like it looks like Todd's just getting more advanced, right now. So it's crazy, but yeah, a lot of people I think didn't expect that.
Most of the time in arm wrestling, the guy's just looking for that win, and it doesn't matter if you flop your wrist or not. A win's a win. We might complain about how someone does it, but if they're winning, all we're going to do is complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In other words, like if a guy's kicking everybody's butt, even with a King's move, he's still kicking everybody's butt.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, whether you like it or not, as long as it's legal, and a legal move, guys getting pretty good at things, that are a little bit awkward. In fact, when it comes to that, what about Benji? I mean, Benji can be all over the place, but his side pressure doesn't change. He can give you the wrist, but he doesn't let any arm go when he does it. It's kind of, he's one of those guys that can hold the pressure no matter what he gives you up top. He's pretty good at that, actually.
Yeah. Agreed.
The rubber man.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah.
There's ways where that's going to eventually translate for him in the best ways, I think. But
Right.
That'll be for him to work out. But yeah, I agree. He's got some sticky spots, and when he gets it on his frame too, it's really tough. But yeah, back to Toddzilla. I was really waiting for that one round where Babayev, or however you say his name, actually like caught him a little bit in the catch.
Well, he did.
Yeah, because there was the first couple rounds, I was like, damn, like, Todd's just getting, position right off the hit, and it just looked all kinds of bad. But then there was that one round. Yeah, he actually anticipated, Todd, adjusted, and it was absolutely zero help at all for him.
Wasn't there a foul on that really good catch that he did? Wasn't there like an elbow foul on it where he had like really great rise and he was out of it, and Todd was kind of in a bad spot, but then they called an elbow foul. I think it was on Hungerby, if I'm not mistaken. I was like,
was it that
was the match we were waiting for, but
yeah.
And Todd
it was round 3. It was the start of round 3, and then they fouled Hungerbayev, and then Todd, made whatever adjustment where it didn't get back to that spot, like he jumped the hit again or whatever. But yeah, it looked like it was turning around. Like it looked like that endurance master was about to come out, but Todd's just relentless, dude. Like when you think he's gassed out, he still has another gear. It's crazy.
Dude, it's so strong. Dude is so strong.
Well, those leaders are, though. I mean, there's something else. We don't even actually know what they have because we can't even hold it.
Right. No matter what level you are below them, it's kind of hard to like think about, because on one end, like, do I think anybody new should be trying to emulate what Todd's doing? Like, not at all. But and I do think that it is very applicable to what he does well and where his strengths are. And the thing that we can emulate is finding what we do well and try and capitalize on that. But I do like also think that side pressure is definitely, it's pretty lethal, and it's very awkward for a lot of people, awkward for a lot of back pressure people. And if you do it right, like it's kind of a hard thing to stop,
Well, if you look at his physique, dude, his whole physique is built around that power and protecting that side pressure. And dude, he follows the West Side Barbell, system, but converted it to arm wrestling. Like, who does that? You know what I'm saying? That's the most determination. And then if you look at his anatomy too, his hand is so small. He doesn't have the biggest lever. He's not the tallest person.
No.
Like on paper,
Yeah.
he really shouldn't be winning and kicking ass as much as he is. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
you grip up with him, and then you feel that power, and you know, oh shit, he has something. You know, and it's funny because everybody's been trying to top roll Todd since like forever, right? Everybody's been trying to top roll him, and nothing happens. Like maybe you might get a little success, maybe, but he keeps his hands so straight, and that drive. Oh my
Yep,
God,
side pressure.
Yeah.
nuts.
See, I don't know if a lot of people take into consideration he's like a mechanical engineer, and to me, that's always like when you hear him speak on some visual training videos, he's very good with his words, and you can tell that he has the knowledge behind it. He just, he drinks beer and hangs out like that. So some people might judge that image, but I think that he might have it broken down for his own way, as far as angles and mechanical angles that he thinks you can accumulate the most power or whatever, because he does have a very unique power that we don't see, often. And
When did he
he, at
start?
that little size, is able to match with some of the big, super heavyweights.
Yeah.
So
When did he start arm wrestling? You know,
when
He
he
was
35.
35,
Yep.
so I don't know how long ago that was. What is that, like 15 years ago, or probably a little bit more now?
Yeah, I think he's like
56.
He's been
100.
in for quite a while.
Yeah, he came in good though too. Like even when he came in his late 30s, I've
Yeah.
seen footage of him, going through entire
Yeah,
bracket.
back when he had the Don Moorman handlebar mustache.
Yeah. And he was a top roller too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But Ed, I think that's interesting to think about because he was successful when he came in, but he was very he was a lot more versatile, I guess. Like foundationally he was able to adjust, and he was definitely a good top roller too. So if anybody like just now coming in getting to know Todd, that they might think he's just this like side pressure freak or something like that, and like just dumb in that move or something, or not technical, but that he knows exactly what he's doing, and is a lot more well-rounded, I think, than most people know.
Yeah, I agree. I just say the thing about him is he's overtrained himself to the point where he's just like an absolute stone in his position. Like,
right?
yeah, we'd want to see him do a bunch of different stuff, but he's just so good at his one move that, I mean, and it's not really just one move. It just seems like it's one move because it really is minor adjustments in that move that make his opponent really uncomfortable, whether it's someone trying to high hand top roll, low hand top roll, someone trying to hook. He's always going the same way. Regardless of how his wrist is set up, but his fingers are always really well gripped. The wrist is the only thing that kind of flexes, but if you pay attention, his fingers are always in the same spot, always in a great spot, just straight across the hand in a neutral position, and he just holds on for dear life right there, and lets the chest and the elbow lock up, and then just pushes to the side, and that tends to push other people out of their comfort zone and makes them quit.
Right. Yeah, and it's not like he completely gives up his wrist or hand or anything like that, or his pronation. It's all there. There's just, and I honestly, I'm not sure that any of what he's doing would work without those things. But and I think that's where a lot of the minor variations might take place too. But yeah, it really is incredible. I think what's cool about it is if someone's trying to get more competitive, I think it is a good idea to look at what your assets are and try and capitalize on those to get better. Like I guess what I mean to say is if you do something well, then it shouldn't be done just in one way. Like you should be able to take what that strength is or whatever and maybe apply it to like 3 different scenarios of like how you could use that. But I think what also makes Todd really special is, he has like all the best ways to capitalize on what he does so well, but he also has over the years made himself so well-rounded and strong in those other areas. It's so to me, it's kind of like a top roller trying to top roll their whole lives until, you know, they get sucked into a hook or something, or they just didn't have enough arm or whatever that, you know, yeah, you can take that top roll and use it like 3-4 more different ways with an opponent, but being able to round yourself out like in the hook or get stronger in the hook, little things like that can probably help your top roll.
Yeah.
That's just what I would think.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% for sure.
Okay, are you pretending with it that's bad, or are you talking slow motion?
Who, me?
No, Ricky.
No, I agree 100%. Like, yeah.
Oh no, you're breaking up a
What
little bit,
happened?
Ricky. It looks like Back to the Future.
Yeah, Ricky's freezing up.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, man. We got Eric Gonzalez in the house. What's up, Eric?
Hey, Eric.
L. Marshall says Todd's side pressure is on another level. And Rodell Escalara says mind over matter. And that's true. You know, I think guys like Todd and a lot of people at the tippy top, their mental aspect of their competition is a huge asset. And like that factor shouldn't be dismissed or, you know, not considered when it comes to, I think, improving one's game. Like I think I'm a crappy competitor, like mentally, and try and I know that's like something I need to improve on. I notice a lot of the some of the best competitors, like
I'm right with you, Kane. I'm right with you.
a lot of them, have you noticed how like weird they are about losses? You know, like we'll make fun sometimes about how somebody will like make 10,000 excuses when they lose, but in general, like with a lot of these people at the top, they're like, it is bad. It's like bad if they lose and like they go into like this deep pit or something like that. And the ones that actually happen to harness that and use it and like are really determined to propel forward are those few that don't take that difficulty in losing and quit. But yeah, I do notice a lot with the people that are very serious competitors. The mental factor is extremely sharpened, you know.
I think we should take away something anytime we lose. We should take something from that to gain. Like even like when I lost to Greg Gray, after that match, I said to myself, I need more strap work.
Yeah.
You know, and so I'm probably going to strap up more at practice just to work on that, setting up better, because something was definitely wrong there. And I can't put my finger on. Can we get Greg in here so he can tell me what he was doing? I'd like to know myself.
Yeah, there was a few people at that tournament that showed up. I didn't know would be there. It was cool to see him pull though. He was the one I missed. I didn't get there in time. Yeah, I really want to feel what that guy's like. I heard he's just another level once you get in the strap with him.
Yeah.
Have you, Ricky or Lorenzo, have you gripped up with Greg Gray before?
never. I want to, but never come across a chance. I think I've seen him twice in person, but never, you know, gotten a chance to speak with him or grip up with him.
You better
But he
practice
looks
in
like
the
he
strap,
knows.
man. I'm telling you, you got to practice in the strap.
Great. I don't think so either, man.
Well,
I know we've seen him around a bunch, but I don't think we've ever gripped up.
Yeah.
one thing
He's
I can
definitely
say,
strong.
I'm definitely learning to like the straps. I like the strap. I used to think that I don't know, I had that kind of misunderstood notion that like if you're in the strap, you're strapped to someone's like just like their inside power or something. Your hand becomes useless, and I don't know, just like that certain things are disengaged, and now you have to play.
That's the fear talking, Kane.
Game. Yeah, the mental, right?
That was the fear talking.
Right.
And now you learn how to shut it out, and now you embraced it, and now you're going for the fire, Kane.
Yeah. But you really can use that sucker in all different ways. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Oh yeah, there's been several matches that, or not even just matches, but several times arm wrestling with people where like there's nothing, and then the strap comes on. It's like all of a sudden I'm not only in the match or whatever, but like it comes to my advantage. I'm like, how is that? Because I don't pull enough in the strap, but I need to. But I lat drag a lot, so that helps with the strap. Or at least with the couple occasions I'm talking about. Like a guy might take my hand or whatever it is, but then the strap comes on and all and just the dragging back will like flatten his out, whatever it is.
Yeah, I think that's one of the big assets for a lot of people in the strap is that bottom strap, and to be able to the ability to get to their lat. You know, for me, like it's helped to kind of like utilize that lat strap a little bit, but once somebody told me you can actually utilize the top strap too, you know, if you're working from the hand or back pressure and height, and the weird part was like a lot of people told me the same things, and I started practicing that and implementing it all the time in practice and competition, and it didn't like nothing really like happened or worked, but I kept training in it that way. And I've just noticed after like a year of training in it that way, it feels like it's starting to work. And I don't know why that is, you know, if it's getting more comfortable in it or if there was actual like strength gains in that application. I don't know why that would be.
Both.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you could just chalk it up to natural adaptation. You know, your mind knows what you want to do and your body follows suit. Because if you just keep doing something more and more and more, you're bound to get better at it, get more comfortable with it. Originally, like I saw the transition from just straight up hand pulling to just every match is in the strap. And it definitely changed for a lot of people. For the longest time, I was so against it because, you know, I was all about the hand battle because that's, you know, that's where I shine in my hand. So it was an annoyance pretty much at the beginning because I didn't really want to focus on it and learn it too well. But then once you really get it down, I would say the strap makes the matches more fun because you go down to your raw, you know, your raw power in each sector. But the open hand or strapless matches are really what decides if you're actually a strong person. Because I mean, you know, without the straps, a lot of the guys who are winning right now would be losing.
Yeah,
It's something I agree with that. There's a huge part of me that agrees with that. I like to hook pull specifically on the right hand, but it's something about that just holding on and not having to go to the strap that I enjoy, or afterwards you feel like, okay, I'm actually stronger than this guy, right? Like we tested strength for strength, as opposed to, you know, getting beat with like a certain outside technique, and you're like, damn, like I don't even know what it's like if we would have went power for power, you know. Yeah. But both of them are cool. I mean, you know, trust me, I like the top roll just as well. I think it's neat.
Yeah.
I think it's neat, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like no, I mean my left loves it. Like my left, that's all it wants to do is be up and high and outside. And my right, I guess from using it my whole life and it being a stiff arm, it just wants to be like inside, and that's where it likes to be. I'm trying to do, you know, up and outside with it. But it just has like its own brain. It's like automatically wants to, you know, stay inside. Tom Nelson told me like a while back, he's like, if you could teach your right arm to do what your left arm is doing, you'd be unstoppable. And I'm like, yeah, well, you know, I'm trying that. But, you know, It's tough, because like you get used to a certain thing. And before I knew what real arm wrestling was, my whole life, when I would arm wrestle people, I would just say, okay, boom, try to snap my wrist. Like whoever snapped their wrist faster was like gonna win. And so forever, that's just what I thought it was. So like it just got accustomed to trying that, I guess. But yeah, but I do know there's definitely more efficient, easy ways to arm wrestle that aren't going to put so much strain on you and stuff for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and it definitely I think looking at the strap, like not liking the strap, like you were talking about, Ricky, it definitely does play a mental role in things, in terms of how soon you're going to be successful in the strap. Good. Yeah, I was laughing when you were saying that, because I was thinking like when I thought the exact same thing, and that led to the thinking like, okay, this guy's going to try and slip, and then they slip, and then I'm like, damn, now I'm tied to this behemoth or whatever. But now, like, I think about it, like when we get into the straps, when I get in the strap with somebody, like my mentality now is, you're strapped to me now. Like now you're, now you're tied to me.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but when they tell me close my hand and nothing feels right, then I don't like it.
That's the weird part about it. Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. But again, when it feels uncomfortable, I would still like to know what I did wrong or what he did right, I guess. You know what I mean? Because definitely it was feeling wrong for me, so something wasn't there.
Yeah. And Greg's been pulling successfully in that strap for a long time, so I'm sure he knows some pretty.
Shoot him $20, Don. He'll tell you.
I don't know. He's number 7. So if he's number 7, I don't think 20's enough.
All right, 25.
I don't think he's that cheap a date.
So when you're in the strap, because you're a hand guy, Don. When you're in the strap, are you still focusing on your opponent's hand, or are you focusing how to use your hand with that strap?
It kind of depends on what we've already done. In other words, if I feel like I'm already burning real bad because if you're going in a strap, you already started somehow with the guy to get there, right? So you already know probably what he might try again. And if that's top pulling and this and that, and if it was a longer match before you slipped, you might have a little bit of muscle, burning in that area where you might want to try hitting something different now. I'm always one that's gonna probably try something different instead of like with you, but you might be thinking in your head, wow, Don really likes to hook. No, I'd rather not. I'd rather take your hand, actually, tell you the truth. I don't like going in a hook because that's always going to exert more energy usually. If you get in a bad battle in a hook, you're going to be going battle to battle, power to power with a guy. And that could really burn you out, where it's always easier to take your power away, take your hand and pin you. And so I prefer to do that. But when it starts feeling like it's already going to be a battle there, I might drive somewhere else. So, and you got to do that quick, right? I mean, I even tried to drive.
You got to switch it up quick.
I tried to drive inside with you a couple of times, Kane, and each time I did, I gave up wrist, but I also at the time when I drove in, I lifted elbow and fouled. So I was still going into something else though, because we were already burning where we were, right? You were, I know you were, because I was.
Yeah.
So I was going into another area that was fresh, but I fouled when I did it. Well, then at that point we break and then we end up going back into our moves again. So that kind of thing. So it just depends. It depends on the puller. And I think everybody should always try and adjust to the puller and the pressures they feel, the body position, because when you see a guy rise way up, he's probably going to go inside on you. So you should set up on the table accordingly, to counter that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and adjust if I can. I don't really prefer. I prefer the top pole more than anything, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. My upcoming match with Mike Brown is going to be my first super match where I'm agreeing just to do the straps. Yeah,
You guys going straight into it?
We're going straight into the strap. Yeah, for our right hand match.
Yeah, I think you guys.
There's no point to pulling any
other slip.
But
you guys would power slip every time.
Yeah, 100%.
When is that match supposed to be, Kane?
December 9th at the Kringle Bowl. Yeah.
I have to see that. I have to see that match. I really think you guys are going to battle good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I've been saying.
Are you doing
I think it's going to be a good match.
Are you doing left and right?
Just right. Yeah, him and I think he'd probably annihilate me left, but I could be wrong. I don't know. He's my left isn't that good, and I think he has more symmetry than me. His left is pretty equal to his right, but the right's going to be a good match. I think it's there's going to be a lot of interesting things happening in that.
Yeah,
we've had a couple trainings feeling it out.
What do you predict, Kane?
Are you testing my psychological fortitude right now?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm hoping for the 3-0, but you know, it's also going to be, I don't, you know, expect it to be like a quick flash pin thing. Hopefully it is, because I want to compete in the tournament after. But yeah, if he stops me, then I think we might have a few grinders and see where it goes. I think he thinks he's going to be King's moving me every round and winning. But yeah, we've had fun the last couple practices, just kind of like playing that chess game where you're feeling each other out, but you don't want to give away too much. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're in the same weight class. You're like, hey, buddy.
Are you guys still weighing the same now, or you guys have changed up? Because you were both 165 before, correct?
Well, yeah, I think he sits comfortably somewhere like, you know, around 180, like or up towards there. And this is the first time where I'm about to that weight. Right now I'm pretty comfortable at 175. But yeah, we agreed on a 165. We both want to get in on that 165 tournament. I think I'll pull some other classes too, but yeah, it's going to be a 165 rankings match. So okay. Yeah, I got the weight on now, but it'll be my first like kind of light cut, but I don't think it's going to be even a cut. Like I just won't eat as much as I am for like
one taco instead of 5.
Yeah.
10 pounds ain't nothing. You could do that in a hard night's work will get off 10 pounds of water, so it should be pretty easy. Who's supposed to be reffing those matches?
We have Crispin. I forgot. I know Christian is, but I think they've got a couple others. I can't remember who. I can't remember if he's got Vosgian in for this one, but yeah, I have to find out. It's going to be a great event, though. You guys should come. You should at least pull in the tournament. A lot of Ricky, just like the high desert one we did. It's one of those that's going to have a lot of good spectatorship. You know, there's going to be a lot of kids there and stuff for the snow blowing and the toy drive and the light show and all
Ricky,
that.
what are you weighing?
Right now, I'm fat. I'm definitely 185, like maybe even like upwards of like 190. I haven't been checking my weight for like the past week, but
that weight class isn't the 70. That weight class isn't the 76. It's a 185.
Is it? It's 85?
Mm-hmm.
For the Kringle?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
There's a 65 and an 85.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Well, I'd like to get my fat body back down to 65, be looking right and, be dominating. But I mean, I've been doing pretty okay in the 85s, as long as the California elites don't show up like Ole or, like Vrej or anything like
Vrej.
that. Then I do, I do pretty well without them there. But anyone else, I got a pretty good shot, with
Vrej should be
pretty much
elite.
the competition at 85.
Hey, I used to always think like that too. Every time I'd be at a tournament and all of a sudden I'd see Fisher show up. I go, well, I'm shooting for second.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Man, I don't know. 185 sound interesting, bro. I've been chilling about 195 lately.
Well,
Really?
Get in.
I'm up now, so I'm at I think 180 right now.
Let's
You-
all
you
do
have-
185s.
Huh?
Let's
You
do
two,
it.
Josh.
I'm in. If you guys
Yeah, I'm
are
gonna
in,
pull-
I'm in.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull 185.
Come
Well,
on, Josh.
I would love to. I'm trying
Josh
to
is
get
getting
down
trim
there.
over there.
Josh,
That's like my whole life
Salute.
weight, 185, and until I had my son,
All right.
and then I just packed on all this weight.
Oh, you're
let's do it.
cruising that direction quick. You've been looking good. And
Hopefully I can get there. I've shed quite a few pounds. I shed 26 pounds.
Yeah.
So
Where you at right now, Josh?
I'm at 203.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you still got a little bit to go, but I think you can get there.
Yeah, I know I can do it. I know I can do it. I
203.
cut out some. I
Hey,
cut out
in
some important
Bakersfield,
things out
you're
of my
about
diet.
220, right?
The what?
In Bakersfield, you're about 220.
229.
yeah, he was like 230.
Woo,
Yeah.
boy. 203.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I've lost 26 pounds. Yeah.
Nice.
Stay out of our class, Josh.
No, I'm really trying to get, like I said, I cut out a few things that were super important, like the fast food, the sweets, and just the extra stuff like that. Like my new snacks are like beef jerky and pistachios and stuff. I mean, which still ain't the best, but it's better.
Pistachios are good.
It's better.
Well, yeah, that's amazing, dude. It really is. I'm happy that you've been doing that. Yeah, I know you had that health scare for a minute.
Yeah.
It sounds like the Kringle thing's going to be kind of fun.
Yeah, and Ricky, like, you seem like you've been comfortable back at 185, and I always think you should stay where you're comfortable. However, if you are able to get down to 165, I think it would be a fun tournament to compete in. You're gonna have Caleb there, but you'll also have Jamie Barrett. Yeah, number one, 165 in Australia is going to be there. I pulled him in Mr. Olympia. Dude's strong, but like based on his style and stuff, I'm really interested to see what would happen if you pulled him in the tournament. It could be interesting. We'll talk about that though, for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, most of the 165ers I already know pretty well. I know their style. I know the counters I need for it. The thing about it is, all I would have to do is focus for maybe like 2 months. Like this tournament, I definitely won't be making 65 because there's not enough there for me to want to get to 65. Unfortunately, my golden ticket is leaving California, as I'm sure you guys already know. Alan Fisher is going to be taking off pretty soon, moving to, I believe it's Ohio, and he's the only reason I ever cared to touch 65. Now with him gone, it's kind of like, all right, I guess I could look at David and, the guys ranging around him, and I mean, shoot for them, but they really don't, hit me the way, not on the table, like just as a person, they don't make me want
blow your
to
skirt
chase
up.
them. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. If I touch 165 again, it's going to be because, I want to do something really wild, just take over California, undoubtedly like number one. But other than that, I might stay at like 76, 85, bounce around there for, who knows, a little while. Because Yeah, for a minute I was competing at the 205, the 210 class,
Yeah.
and I was just really unhealthy. And I was just like, you know, I had just come off of a couple surgeries, so I was like, I guess I, try it out. I did all right in LA, and I was like, all right, I guess I still got it. So, I mean, 185, I just won first, right and left over there at that other tournament. So, I mean, I think I'm still doing all right, but I think 165 is where, my hand and wrist would really shine, because that's where more of that smaller kind of hand and wrists are. So I
Yeah.
don't know, but we'll see. But for right now, you'll definitely be seeing me 185, 176 if I can take the fork out of my mouth, but we'll see.
Well, my wife says no to 165. She says she doesn't want me that skinny.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah, we'll
was,
see. But Don, you're like 6'2", no? Aren't you like really tall?
No, I'm 6 with shoes on.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, but I mean, the rest of the 65ers in California are all 5'9". I mean, you got guys wearing boots to be 6 foot, but realistically,
right.
if we were to all go flat-footed out there, the 65ers, besides Kane and Mike Brown, those are the only two guys above 6 foot,
I
at 60.
already look
So
pretty skinny at 76, so
healthy,
yeah,
healthy, physically
yeah.
fit.
yeah, you got to do it
Yeah, there you go.
right
I'll
for your
call
body
it
type.
physically fit. Yeah.
So we got quite a few chats here, and yeah, let's say hello to a couple new people that popped in. We got Jaden Knight Sr. in the house. What's up?
Jaden.
Yeah, man. And we
Good.
got
I love
we got
you.
Rich. Yeah, we miss you, Jaden. We got Richard in the house. We got Waldo Saldana in the house.
Ooh.
We got our teammate and chat moderator Johnny Dang is in the house.
Yeah,
And
Dang.
yeah, and we got Todd Calazo in the house as well.
Oh, big tie.
Boogie down from the Bronx, Todd.
That's
Mm.
right. That's right. Yeah. So we've got an interesting one from Eric Gonzalez. Did I say Javier? Yeah, Javier Martinez are teammates in here as well. So
Mm.
Eric Gonzalez says, do you guys think there's truth behind having the buckle on your side that it gives you an advantage?
I
Do you
try
think
not to
he
think
worded
about it.
that wrong, or do you? I mean, I know there are some people that think you have an advantage
Okay,
on the
I
buckle
think
side,
normally it's a disadvantage,
right?
but
Yeah.
if you play with it, you can find some advantages to it, dude. You really can find some advantages. Now, it throws you off if you're going between a plastic buckle and a D-ring buckle. D-ring buckle has some different bite to it, and it's not really it's not as movement. It doesn't move as much, right?
Mm.
And it tends to loosen up a little bit with tension, just slightly, right? With the D-rings, but then the plastic ones, they tend to cinch up pretty good. But I think there's some advantages to it, definitely, if you play
Maybe,
with it and if you work with it enough. And if you
yeah.
work with people in your power level too. I think that's where you find out if something's gonna work. Work with people in your power level or higher than your power level, and then so they can hold you and you can start seeing what's working and
Both ways. Yeah.
communicate like, oh wow, that feels a lot more stronger.
Yeah.
I think too, when they tighten down the strap and cinch it down on the guy on the buckle side should be aware that he's not letting his hand also get sucked down.
Right. Yeah, I feel like in terms of disadvantage, as long as you're making sure you keep your webbing height when they're cranking that sucker down,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
where's the disadvantage? But yeah, I thought there was actually an advantage to having the buckle because one, yeah, all right, so you know that I'm not going to let them suck my hand down when they're tightening it down. I'm going to keep my height, and now that that's out of the way, if the buckle side gets to dictate how tight that strap is. It doesn't always work though. Like we saw in East versus West, who was it? They were like, dude, the buckle's on my hand. I want it looser. And they're like, no, it's fine. It's fine. The refs. Did you guys see that?
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I
Start
don't
start counting your wins versus one side or the other.
Yeah, that
See
could
if it makes a difference.
yeah.
I think the reason the original
I
question
doubt
was
it.
it Eric that asked. I
Yeah.
believe it's because Todd Hutchings, that post that he had made about the calculations of the buckle side, and saying it's just it is
Yeah,
what it is, and it doesn't
were.
really an advantage or disadvantage. But honestly, I he's making calculations based off of really a lot. You go through all the matches. A lot of those matches were one-sided, so of course it's going to be whatever it is. Whereas in general, if you were to calculate it, I'm pretty damn sure that well, as it is, the general census is, I don't want the buckle on my hand. There's a reason people don't want it. It's because it feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel right. There is a natural advantage to not have it on your hand, and everyone's seen that. That's why everyone believes, or everyone's come together and said, "Hey, you know what? I don't want the buckle." That's why people flip for the side of, what side of the table they want to be on. That's literally it, the buckle. So. Yeah, I'm
they were,
sure there's one slight advantage to having the buckle on your hand if you can maneuver it right at the right time during the setup. But if you can't get it, you're at a loss. And unless you're just someone like Todd Hutchins that can just go like that and just push someone over, it's not really
you
beneficial.
have the head ref on your side too.
Yeah. So it just doesn't work out.
They were when Todd like that post. They were specifically, everybody was talking about the Rustam Babayev and Irakli match because Rustam won the coin toss and decided to still give Irakli the side without the buckle. He ended up losing the first match. He won the second match with the buckle on the other side, lost the third match with the buckle on his hand, won the fourth match, and then lost the fifth match. So everybody was saying, every match with the buckle on his side, he lost. And if he would have not took the bad side on the flip coin, would he have won that match? That's where like the whole talk of from the East versus West that just happened was. I know Todd's been saying that for a long time, but when it happened, like on the pay-per-view, he goes, "See, you don't need the buckle, or you don't want the buckle on your side." That's what he was saying,
Yeah, and Javier Martinez says that it was actually Hutchins and the East versus West that we just had that was complaining about the strap needing to be tighter. It was like Unger Babayev was okay with where it was at. Of course, he probably wanted like a little bit of a looser strap, but Todd had the buckle on his side, and he said it's not tight enough. I have the buckle. I can decide. I want it tighter. And the ref was like, no, it's good. It's good. It's good like that. And he was like, no, look.
Yeah, no, up against Todd Hutchings was Ungar Bayev, but there's Rustam Babayev.
So say his name again, Unger, but I just can't say it right.
Ungar
Bayev. Okay.
Yeah. That's who went against Todd Hutchins. But Rustam Babayev is the one that wanted the buckle on his hand in the back and forth match that Josh was talking about.
Okay. He went against Irakli.
Yeah, but I noticed something about his matches, and it wasn't, I wouldn't say it was a buckle. It was his hand shifting position, and I don't know if he's just not been in the game or not been paying attention, because you can kind of see on Rustam's matches, like he wasn't all there mentally. He was just kind of shooting. Well,
remember he took a while off, and his first match back was Paul Lynn, and he ripped his pec. So this was only his first match after ripping his pec, and like the first match he didn't really commit, and then so you're right. It wasn't just the buckle at all, but
it may have sat on him that it was a buckle. But if you pay really close attention, the way his hand positioning was, it was different in almost every match, and it was like he was going for the same thing, but he was trying to shift his hand to get a more comfortable bite. And the two times it did work, it's because he was more forward. And he made I can't remember his name right now, but it made him grip lower on him without even intentionally realizing it, I think. And that's how he was able to cup him and then roll him on the second one, just by being more forward with the shorter hand. Because that's what you want on a top roller, low hand top roller. You want more forward towards them so you can get a better grip. But if you're trying to match height up against someone way longer than you, all you're going to be holding on to is fingertips, and that's what happens. So I don't know, but I think it'll change once he gets back in the game, as long as he doesn't get injured. But I mean, he's 40, and it's hard to stay out of injuries, especially
one of the best
when your mind's not clear. So we'll see.
What did you guys think about the Sarah and Igla match?
That was sad.
Yeah, it was hard.
Right. Was it I mean, did everybody expect that? Did everybody think Sarah was going to win? Did everybody think it was going to be close? I know that, Igla just got wiped by Gabby a while back, and then Gabby lost to Barbora. Now they're talking about having Igla and Barbora together. But did you think it was going to go that way, or did you have Sarah as the favorite?
It's hard to say because there's at least I don't, maybe I don't watch enough channels or whatnot, but would I be right?
Because we don't follow women's arm wrestling.
No. Because she doesn't seem like she's that active between these huge matches. So it's like she's off in her training camp for a year, whatever it is. And so for me, it was hard to say where she's at. I don't know. Have you guys seen her competing at any particular high-level tournaments or super matches since Gabby?
No, but you know what? She's a gym rat, so she's always going to be in the gym. Right. She's always going to be getting stronger. And then I think having a loss on you and her being so competitive, I know she's been in the dungeon just grinding it out,
And I think that's, we all wanted to see, something good come from that for Sarah, because we know she is competitive, and she's just been grinding this past year, trying to train and everything like that. But yeah, that girl was nuts. She was absolutely nuts.
Yep. Yeah, that was absolute domination. It was all hand and wrist.
Yep, every round. Yeah, didn't she even let Sarah get into her power, I believe, one of the rounds.
Well, the hook is Sarah's power, so every match should have been, given something to Sarah, but who knows? Who knows what it could have been? Maybe that wasn't Sarah that we saw. Maybe she was sick, maybe she was tired, maybe, who knows? But from what we saw, it kind of looked like she didn't want to try anything else besides her move. So
if it didn't work, you gotta switch it up.
Yeah, and trying the same thing and losing 5 times in a row with the same thing, who does that?
Yeah. We got Jason Latona popping in the chat saying just stopping to say hi, fellas. Blowing us some kisses. Good to see you here, Jason.
What's up, J-Lo?
And yeah, Jaden was asking if mine and Mike's match is going to be, he says it's going to be a good match, and he says, is it going to be live streamed? Yes, it will. We'll get the information out on that ASAP, where you can watch that. But there's going to be a lot of really good matches there. We've got Grace versus it's Haley, and they've already had kind of a little tester at the World Series of Arm Wrestling.
Caleb's got a good one too.
Yeah. But it's looking like it's going to be a good match between Grace and Haley. They looked really close in San Diego. So I'm looking forward to how, what they took from that experience and how it turns out in the super match. Then we got Caleb and Jamie Barrett going against each other. That's going to be a really good one too.
That sucks, man. They're both my boys.
Yeah.
Caleb from Cali, just heart and soul. And then when Jamie was down in Vegas, he stayed with me and Harold and Leo. And
Yeah.
so, dude, we took that kid on the town, and I was his little protector while he was down here. That's my boy. They're both strong, though, man. They're both
Yeah.
strong, and that's going to be such an exciting match.
That's
I'm
one of
excited.
them matches where you're going to root it like, one of you win.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, I always say if I don't know, I'll pick a side after the first round.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
What I'm hoping, I hope they both wind up, and like I don't know if Caleb's gonna try and do his low hand top roll thing with him or not. Jamie's got a really good high hook.
I think Caleb has it with what I've seen so far. I say Caleb 100%. Jamie's been doing really good in the gym, but Caleb is, I mean, his life is arm wrestling. That's all anybody knows about him, is that he's an arm wrestler. So, I mean, more power to him. If this is everything to him, and he hasn't stopped moving up. He just, whether he wins or loses, he keeps doing better little by little by little by little, but he's consistent in it.
Right.
He didn't come out of the box too hot. He didn't just blast on the scene and just start dropping people. But little by little, the people he's losing to, he takes wins on eventually, and he's climbing the little steps up. And sooner rather than later, I mean, I'm going to have to be chasing him. I mean, this guy's been on my tail for a while now, but who knows? Next time I meet up with him, he just made, walk right through me. We saw what he did to Will at what is it, the Fit Expo. Yeah, I mean, nobody expected that, because we all know Will's our genetic freak for 165. So I mean, that just goes to show Caleb has it in him. He has that hunger. They're both really young guys, but I just think style wise, I think Caleb's way too adjustable right now, and he's still so young, so he still has that speed in him. And I think that's going to shine with this, because, young guy versus young guy, of course, both of them are going to go at it harder than ever. So,
he moves around a lot, and he moves around a lot because he's really searching for a weak spot really quick. But sometimes he's kind of all over the place. And if he didn't feel it, he'll get out.
He's actually a really good tactician of getting out of the
and you'll have to do it again, and he gets another chance to do something else with you. So he's getting stronger and stronger, though, because he practiced with us a lot, and there's no doubt he's definitely getting stronger.
Right.
And then on the Jamie Barrett side, right, when was the last time you saw someone beat Vosgin?
Right. That's true. It's true. And he even held
over the
Allen
moon
up for a minute.
Now Vosgin came back to beat him, but still, Vosgin did a speech. You know what I'm saying? Man, that kid
No, man, I don't buy. I think he paid him off or something.
Well,
nobody.
Don, didn't you Don, didn't you get Vosgin at the Harley pool?
I got Vretch, yes.
No,
I didn't get
Vosgin?
I got Vretch, and I false started him so I could make his hand go the other way really quick, just for a moment. And and the referees actually asked me. They said, "Are you going to pull this?" Because I'm going to go in, because I didn't have a loss yet at the time. So I looked at him. I go, "Well, hell yeah, I'm going to pull it. I got to feel it."
Oh, it was David that you pinned, right? When you took his wrist and you took everything away from him.
Yeah, that was a quick one too. So, but he was tired. Him and Fisher went at it a long time ago. I was going to hit the winner of those two, and I don't think it would have mattered after that battle which one they gave me. I think they were spun, so I was just able to bask in that glory for a moment. But still, I'd like to hit David fresh though again sometime.
I see the same outcome happening.
I know it'll happen one day. I know it will happen. Well, we're if we do might happen again on the next World Series. Who knows? Because that one he'll have to get in the 76. So,
did you top roll him? What'd you do?
Yeah, I top hit on him, but he went over pretty quick too. So to where I was shocked, like, wow, he was spun, and to go over that fast, because I expected still some kind of stop or slow down or something, and it just went over. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You know what? If
Well,
we're going to be seeing 76 classes in California, I think whatever tournament is holding like the European weight classes, like 76 and all
Mhm.
that onward, I think we should drop down for the smaller guys that
mhm.
aren't really meant to be 76 and get a 54 class in there, because there's a lot of guys in California that are smaller at 54 that are absolutely insane.
It
Like
used to be that
they
way.
hang
There
out in the
used to be,
65 class, but like I mean, these guys are doing well in 65s and they can make 54s, even with the light cut. Like there's some guys
right.
that sit at, 160 pounds. Could you imagine they take 6 pounds off and just, make a whole new
That,
class for California? And that's something
that,
we never, I
but
haven't seen that in years here in
yeah,
California.
in
So
years. But it used to be though, 154 and then 55 to 76.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's something we need to see. That would be a good change up because honestly, it's the most exciting matches are the smaller guys. The smaller you get, the more exciting the matches are. The
Yeah.
bigger you get, it tends to be, a lot of just raw power and whoever's been training harder and, the bicep curls or the lat drags. And that tends to be the bigger guys. And that's all you really see. But the smaller guys, have to do the finger battles and all that. And I like those matches more. But
Right.
that's just me, I guess.
There's a lot of
So
a lot of
I
guys
think
in
those
our
guys are
state.
excited too.
There's a lot that would show up for a 154 and below. There's even a few that would show up for a lighter class than that. But just our
Yeah.
our own team alone, I could probably think of at least 4 or 5 people that
Yeah,
would come immediately
it,
for the
it's
154.
easy. I
Yeah.
agree totally. The biggest new influx is probably the smaller weight.
It
I mean,
is.
there's a few big guys here and there, but um, even like through the last couple of years, like traveling around with Casey, his classes were always, just a few guys because there wasn't many super heavyweights, but the small 165 guys or whatever, they'd always have 9, 10, 12 guys in there. And there was a lot of those guys, like Ricky's saying, that were 150,
Yeah. And there's
145,
some
like
guys, there's some guys that
Brandon,
like sit at
Santino.
60. Yeah. Yeah, like
Yeah.
those guys that sit at like 65, it's kind of like uncomfortable where they kind of, take their losses here and there and you see potential in them, but their just frames aren't really built for that, but they have to stay there because they have to be as big as possible to keep that 65 weight. Or if they were able to cut a little, like they would be like, insane at 54, like really just
Think
shredded
about
down and ready to go. But
Yeah.
Think about that World Series of arm wrestling. They do being that it's the 0 to 176, they do miss out on another weight class. And if you think about the guys that were in that, like in the final, those were all the top 65ers
Yeah.
that are competing in the 76. So those guys are able to do it. There's so many guys that are probably 165 that aren't even going to try because they feel like they don't even stand a chance because they already are going to be against the top 165ers and 176ers. And those guys feel
absolutely.
like they don't stand a chance now. So
Absolutely.
the only thing that's going to change that, I think, now is that might make a few more people actually try is that they're going to pay a few dollars for the final. At least they're saying now down to 8 spots. So that's unique in itself too, is seeing that many people cash,
Yeah.
with the cash price starting at, what was it 2,500 or something like that, or 30.
2,500. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
2,500.
and then 8th place is still getting $100, I mean, and that $100 is almost, any second or third in our open pros that are local anyway,
Yep.
so I mean, like even me getting 4th, I got 250 for that, and that's shoot, that's like almost a win, on any
Yeah.
regular open. So I was stoked. Plus on the final, there's no entry, so that's kind of a pretty sweet little deal. Just kind of get your butt over there and compete now, instead of kind of helps on your travel, on your fuel too. When you don't have an entry fee for 2 arms.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, stuff like that, payouts like that, once it catches, that is where the crowd is going to come in, and there's big money like that being thrown around where the promoter's not, like,
Right.
oh, I got to make sure I make my money back and make it worth my while and all that, where they're just like, you know what, let's see if we can make this thing happen. Like,
Right.
that's where people are going to start coming from. That's what WAL did. And,
Right.
with the issues WAL had, and they kind of fizzled out, that sucks, but they were onto something major. That's where you got these random genetic freaks coming out of nowhere, trying it out because they heard the big money,
Right.
and that's what makes the
Right.
world go round. So
Right.
bigger the money, the bigger the show. And that's just plain basic facts.
It goes that way with bass fishing, that they're winning hundreds of thousands of dollars now. You got a lot of people that get into bass fishing just because of the prize money that's in there now.
Yep.
I was talking to Josh about that, I wonder if that would work even if you based your payback on a tournament based upon entries. Like they do that in bass tournaments where they pay 1 in 5. 1 in 5 entries cashes. But in bass tournaments, you are paying more, more of an entry, where you're going to end up paying, probably a minimum of 100 or at least 300 on your regular tournaments, but then they're paying back some thousands.
Yeah.
But again, that 1 in 5 kind of deal, I'm just wondering if that would, if that or 1 in 4 or what, however it worked, for your entries to pay back, if that would make a difference for
Yeah,
more of a guaranteed payback, because if you only had a few people, then maybe you only going to pay for 2 spots, because that's just how it works, because there's not many people in the bracket at that point anyway. So I'm just wondering if there was some way to make that to where if you actually had a pay scale right to begin with, to just kind of show there's no dispute, everybody knows what they can win, and if we all show up, wow, we can make a good prize just by showing up, because when you're there in numbers, there's just more money to go around,
yeah.
Plus we beat up on each other, and if you get a good draw, you're gonna win.
Yeah.
So let me ask, with the World Series of Arm Wrestling, I didn't make it to the qualifier for that.
Mhm.
Nobody wins anything at the qualifiers, right? In
Nope.
terms of money, right?
Nope.
Yeah, so that's where things I kind of like break down to make sense, I suppose, to have some decent payouts if it's
Right.
if there's a qualifier that's, bouncing around the country and everything, you're really accumulating registrations,
Right.
sign fees, all that can all be centered towards the big payout event, and that
And then
format
not
makes
having that entry on the end one is nice. I have to admit that did
Yeah.
seem nice, just to walk in and hey, I'm here. you
yeah,
know.
yeah, for
That is
sure.
cool.
Cool format. And Sarah Lightning Latona is in the house. She says that she wants to come next year. Ladies, look out.
Ooh,
And
damn. That's it. She already won.
yeah, and Jason Latona wants to know if anybody's going to be coming this Saturday. Yeah, I believe this Saturday is their big mega practice, right? They're having out there in Vegas.
Man,
Yeah.
Jason, I gotta talk to Jason directly about this. How you guys gonna have that mega practice on my birthday, man? Like I would have made it out there, but I mean, I got plans, man. Horrible timing. Could have been the following week. That would have been so much better. Oh wait,
Yeah.
following week's Thanksgiving, huh? Or it's the day after
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, I think. Oh yeah, no, it's like it would be 2 or 3 days after Thanksgiving. Everyone would be all nice and carb loaded. Bad timing, Jason. Bad timing.
Yeah, it's rough timing for me as well. But anybody that can make it out, it sounds like it's going to be a good one. There's a lot of people showing up for that practice, so it should be pretty cool. We got Grace Bear in the house. What's up, Grace? Good to see you.
Our buddy there.
We got our massive Derek in the house from our team, Derek Trump, big dog. What's up, Derek? Yeah, Derek was
that's party boy right there.
That's right.
Yeah. He was with Josh and I at Travis Provencher's watch party and Friendsgiving this past weekend. And that was a really good time. We enjoyed watching the pay-per-view there. Travis and Katie were extremely hospitable, a lot of good food. And there was this one special moment because Christian and Crispin are they're doing a lot of the arm wrestling side for the Kringle Pull coming up. And just for a lot of the things that Christian does for the community, Travis and Katie, they surprised him with a massive 50-inch smart TV.
Whoa.
Which
Yeah.
Christian? Zapata?
Yeah, Christian Zapata. Yeah.
Is it Zapata or Zapata?
Zapata.
I don't know. I always say Zapata.
Tomato.
Okay.
It was a good time. And while we're on the Kringle Pull, I just want to mention a couple of the other matches. Of course, there's going to be Santa versus Jamie Sheldon, and
the Grinch. Santa versus the Grinch.
Yeah, Santa versus Grinch. We all pretty much know who it is.
It's the Grinch.
The kids, the kids that will be there. But that's a good one. I'm really excited for Waldo Saldana versus Tank.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Waldo has the match too, doesn't he? Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm a big Waldo fan when it comes to arm wrestling. He's taking it serious, and he's just genetically so gifted. I really look forward to what's down the road for Waldo.
He's got the driving heart.
Yeah, and he's a good guy. Who else do we have, Josh, on that? There's also shit. I'm gonna have to look it up here.
Jamie and Caleb.
Jamie and Caleb, yeah, that's
My
that's
bad, that one.
yeah, that's it. And,
I had to get something to drink.
Yeah, the tournament's gonna be really cool as well. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one.
You have Waldo against
sledding.
Jeremy Potentio.
Yeah, I mentioned that. Yeah.
Okay. Grace against Haley.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, gonna be a good bet. If anybody wants to come show up.
That Michael Brown one's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. Still a long time waiting.
It's gonna be 3-1.
3-1. Who?
He says who? He says who with a question mark.
All you gotta do is put money on the match on me, and I won't lose. So if I know there's money on it, I haven't lost yet when there's money, especially if it's somebody else's money.
Ooh.
Really?
I'll put money on that.
I got $2 on Kane.
Yeah.
All day.
I don't want people losing their money. But it's going to be a really good family event for everyone to come out to. If you bring a toy for the toy drive, you're going to get free food from Raising Cane's. And I think there's going to be cornhole. There's going to be 30.
But just bring a toy anyway. I mean, come on, it's for charity. Right. Bring a toy. Bring something.
Yeah,
yes,
bring
sir.
a toy.
Yeah, but yeah,
bring yourself. Bring the family.
You can bring your sled. I'm going to bring a few that people can use. There's going to be 2 sled runs that the kids can do. And I saw the stage already too that he picked out for the arm wrestling event, and it's pretty.
Can we
cool.
eat the snow?
Nice stage. Can you eat the snow?
I want to call out Josh for a super match at Cornhole.
Ooh.
Oh boy!
Look, he left.
Oh, you left.
Oh, there he is.
You said cornhole?
Yeah, I didn't mean to make you
Oh.
nervous there. I mean, you
Oh,
popped
good.
off like it.
All I heard was super match, and I left. I thought you were talking about arm wrestling. Cornhole, we can do it.
Yeah.
So we never did cover Devin and Dennis for East versus West, but I did want to say, just in terms of the event in general, I think it was kind of cool that it was made more intimate with the crowd. But for people like me that don't follow along enough with a lot of like the European competitions and channels and stuff that's going on, I would love to how they did like the little backstory with like Devin and Dennis. I want to see that for all the other guys too. I love everything that Ingen's doing.
That would make a
Everyone
lot
gets
more
a
sense.
little bit better. But yeah, like most of these people I don't know, and I'm just
Right.
I don't know enough of their background there. And those were the moments I went outside and was pulling at the at the watch party. But then you hear the people you run, and then you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? But so Devin and Dennis, what do you guys think?
I thought it went how I kind of thought it would go. I never thought that Dennis at this point would, because he had his problems too, I guess, and I didn't think he would be strong enough to hold him. Period. I just didn't think he would. And I know a lot of people, they say, well, he's this or he was that. And when Dennis is pulling, he doesn't show a lot of emotion anyway. So you can't even tell if you're getting to him.
Yeah.
He'll kind of tilt his head and look at you a little bit or look at the hands, but you can't tell any emotion on his face really. And when he's struggling like that. So but I still thought that Devin was going to be too much for him, and he was too much. I mean, when he was doing those hits like that, and at the end, he was just showing, that, man, this is like workout for me now. I'm just working it back and forth, bam, 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 and he just kept going over and over and over until he finally finished him, and that was just showing his strength against him, that you can't stop me when I come back to center either. He just kept going back to center and hitting him and over and over and over, and Dennis couldn't do anything with that. So yeah, it went how I thought it would. He overpowered him.
Right.
With all those multiple hits, it was like Devin found a little hole and then just kept making it bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And it just kept cracking. But I was very surprised how Dennis was able to initially hold and how strong he was. And his wrist was straight. You know what I'm saying? His wrist was straight for a while before it started cracking back, but it always came back to straight. And I thought that was very, very impressive, especially because, I feel like Europeans, they'll kind of let it go, let you get tired, and then surge, right? And they have all that crazy side pressure, and he was so comfortable. I thought it was crazy. He was so comfortable because it wasn't until like round 3 where he moved his elbow forward. He was so comfortable with his elbow back there, just going back and forth, and he was tucked back. He wasn't driving forward trying to get something else. Interesting. Yeah, I thought it was very, very interesting. But that's what I saw from. That's the picture that came into my head. It was like a cartoon character just going after a little hole that just made it into like a big hole.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think Dennis was truly prepared, ready for this match. I think in the future, with Dennis's genetic potential and obviously the amount of things that he puts into his body, if he gets back to it and risks his life again, I could see him doing, some pretty bad damage to Devin. But That's only if Dennis speaks up, because not once did he ever say anything about hand positioning or, anything to the refs. He never spoke once to the refs. And if I was in Dennis' position with what I saw Devin get away with, oh man, I would have been, nope.
Wasn't
I would
this
have
his
took my
second
hand
match
off and
back
said, look,
too?
check this, check that, his thumb and rise. And I would have done so much different. But Dennis just, let him start, palm up pretty much while Devin's pretty much almost sitting on top of his arm and Dennis is just underneath him. And that was at the start. So, but for Dennis being this fresh back and being able to hold all those hits and, taking it the way he did, it was pretty cool, but it was just all offensive. He didn't do no defense. He didn't try to hit once for nothing at all. He wanted to catch and then I guess drag back, but the old Dennis wasn't there. The guy
now,
that
I have a
hits and
question.
adjusts and.
I have a question. You think, okay, so we know Dennis is coming back and could possibly train to hit that other gear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now,
There should be another match, a trilogy.
Now, do you think Devin can go back and gain another gear? Because he's on such a roll right now. He's so freaking strong. It's hard to imagine Devin being able to get that and get into another gear as well.
I think Devin's just walking through these guys right now because he knows he has to stay on top in order to earn that second match with Levon. Because if anyone pins Devin once, then it's over. Everyone's going to give up on him, and then everyone's going to say Levon is still number one. But now there's people saying that, he might have a little bit more for Levon now that Levon's injured. But when I think Levon is ready to come back, he's going to come back. Maybe. But from what I see is I think he's going to hide out for a little bit, train, rebuild everything back up to where it was. And it's going to be the same story. But just because, the match versus Devin versus Levon, it was just as bad as Devin versus Dennis. Maybe even a little worse just because Levon just horribly dominated Devin. Like he was on the table for the first time ever. Devin couldn't get anything, nothing, no matter what. And that's because Levon was adjusting at the start and then pure power straight across.
It's like grabbing a hand like this.
Yeah.
Devin was nowhere near what he is now when he faced Levon, but we still only got to see him get injured in round one. We still have no idea if that mastery from Devin would have chipped something away. People saying the Hermes match was close, like it wasn't really close. Like he beat Hermes 4-0 and then, gassed and didn't really want to finish the last two matches. When at that level, I feel like it should be their choice. Like if I beat you, it's like I'm good. Like, you could get injured in that sixth match or whatever just to take and finish the last match. But yeah, I think I don't know. I don't think that it was as far as it looked because of the injury that happened. Right. Oh. That's just my opinion. Like just because of watching the things that Devin does. And then another thing that if you watch Devin's career, there's only like one guy in Devin's career, John Brzezinski, who, could just constantly could beat him for a while. Anybody else, like if they beat Devin, he pretty much would figure out how to come back and beat them the next time. Like there wasn't many people that just kept beating Devin. And I think that maybe he gained whatever information necessary from Levon that first time and from Dennis the first time, where he's made all these crazy adjustments to get himself where he is. And now obviously with stem cells and these different things helping. But I felt the same way about Devin for a while. Like he was always playing defense, never attacking. And now we're starting to see an attacking Devin again. And it's just showing how much easier it can be for him to win when he just starts on the offensive side and takes control as opposed to working from a deficit every match.
Definitely.
Right, because
Yep.
those are the matches that we watched that looked very close. When Devin was playing with that King's move, it's like, oh, look, they almost pinned him. I mean, he was never hitting or trying to initiate, you know.
Yeah.
Same thing that Dennis just did.
Todd Calazo says, I believe Devin is still leveling up. It's crazy to say, but he's still climbing. I would agree. You know, there's definitely a new confidence in him to see him more offensive like that. And I think when someone's in that particular transition of confidence, it's really only up from there. I think he still has quite a ways to go up.
Yeah, and not to say I don't think
though,
he can level up. I hope he does. You know,
Right.
that would be so exciting.
But at this point, it's not really like he's just training harder or anything like that. We just have to be real with it. It's how much shit Devin is going to be willing to inject into his blood to get bigger, because that's all it is. If the guy's 40, 45, you know, whatever, he's not just getting stronger naturally. That's not happening for anyone at the elite level. And in order for him to really take Levon, it's not going to be thinking his way out of it. It's going to have to be he gets stronger. And the only genetic or the only way that he'll be able to get to that level is by having to keep dosing higher and higher, eating more and more, and pushing those heavy lifts. Because if he tries to live a normal person life and, you know, even maybe run a little TRT, he'll never get there. It's just not possible.
Are you saying get heavier?
Yeah, he has to get heavier and stronger at the same time.
See, because so after
Drop
their
the weight.
first match, you remember when Devin came to Modesto to do that seminar?
No.
Yeah.
I do.
Like a few last year or a few months. I mean,
It was right after.
it's
Yeah,
been
he
about
came
a
to
year.
Alpha Empire. Yeah.
Yeah, but the next day, right? So, anyways, John, he had said that John told him when he tried to get all massive for Michael Todd and Levon and all this stuff that he thinks that it actually hurt Devin, because Devin sat around the 220 mark like pretty much his whole, like 220, 230 his whole career. And John was always a firm believer. If you obviously, we all know his career. He never got big like that. He stayed small and just whooped everybody. But he told Devin that he thought Devin could be stronger at a lighter weight. And since then, like if we watch, like Devin has consistently lost 4 or 5 pounds each match and like been lighter and lighter. He's not getting heavier, and he seems to be stronger. And I'm just only saying that like to ask, do you think that there is some truth in that, or do you think that he actually would need to get bigger? You think he can't do it at the size he's at?
No, because
Levon?
the guys he's pulling have gotten lighter and lighter and lighter. I mean, not saying each step down has been lighter, but I mean, who has he pulled recently that's roughly the size of Levon? Not even Dennis. Dennis is still
Levon's
100 pounds
the
lighter than
outlier.
Levon.
Yeah, like Devin did recently drop in weight, and he does seem to be very successful. But yeah, Levon that's different. It is different. But it's
you're right. That's a lot of weight difference. That's like a whole nother body.
Yeah, I mean, even Dennis being the biggest guy he's pulled of these recent guys, and still, I mean, that's still a 100-pound difference. 100-pound difference. And Levon is still, pretty fucking up there. He's just not showing anything right now because he doesn't want, too much to get out. He doesn't want anyone to know that there's any chinks in the armor. While, he's got a small, not life-threatening, things going on. He might have tore a bicep or whatever's going on with him. But as soon as that heals and he gets right back on track to where he was, which, I mean, it's not like he's been out, 2 years, 3 years. It's only been a couple months. So once everything heals and he's able to get back on track, he's going to be just who he was.
Yep. Yeah. And Todd says the stem cells, maybe referring to Devin, but yeah, Levon is doing that too. But in that match with Dennis, like how you were talking about him being more offensive, dude, that first round, that was really impressive to me. I was a bit confused because it just wasn't the lane that I would normally am used to seeing Devin go. He not only like he went for the hand, but he came forward. Did you guys see that? He actually came forward as if he was trying to stop Dennis from slipping or something. Like I was a little confused by that. I know it could be something else, but yeah, everyone else in the room watching was like, no, you know, Devin wanted the straps and everything, and I was like, not really sure, because you don't usually come forward unless you're trying to stop somebody from running if you're still
slipping. Yeah,
for the hand. Yeah. And yeah, when they went to the straps and there was the initial stop, you know, and you could see Devin redlining for a minute, I was like, oh shit, you know, maybe he was trying to keep it out of the straps, but he found something in that minute. And then, like you said, Lorenzo, he started surging and just opening it up little by little. But yeah, that whole thing was, every aspect of it I enjoyed. It was one of my most enjoyable Devin matches, because, you know, I love Devin. I love what he does for the support and everything for the sport, but I get exhausted with a lot of these long setups and stuff at a lot of these matches. But they were, you know, efficient rounds, and it was just a different style.
Wasn't that Dennis's second match back though?
Yeah.
And being his second match back, me personally, I wouldn't expect that yet out of him, almost. You know what I mean? In other words, I just can't see him beating Devin, not just coming back into it like that. I don't think it's going to happen. Again, that would be like me coming back into it and going against Fisher or someone like that and thinking I'm not going to have a battle with him, you know.
that's why I think it's exciting to see if he's going to keep training. If this makes him more hungry or not.
Right.
If you start seeing videos of him on the table more and stuff like that, and then imagine what next year could bring.
Right.
I see that
I'm
happening.
wondering too if he's going to want that. I want to come back for him attitude. I want that. And if he does, then I think I probably wouldn't throw all my money on Devin then, because then you would be looking at a hungrier Dennis, already knowing what he did and what he needs to do kind of Dennis. And then I think that would be a different Dennis. I
Hungry,
think that,
healthy, determined, and pissed off.
right. Yes. Right. And
Being honest, he did it was pretty impressive what he did do.
That's a different opponent when they're like that. When they're coming after you now, that's a different opponent. When they're hungry and they're coming after you, that is definitely a different opponent.
Yeah, because this is like the gauge, right? This is the gauge to see where you're at when you're coming back, and to see if you're still at that top level with the top dog up there, but realize he's not.
Yep. He knows what he felt, you know. He knows what everything that went down to, and he'll know if he knows in his heart that I can train to battle that or not, you know. And just coming back, I would only assume that he would feel that way. You know, almost anybody would, I think, when you're just coming back, just saying, okay, that showed me that I wasn't quite ready yet, but we'll see now in another, because I think even when you come back, memory or not, I still think it's going to take you more than a year or even two to be back where you want to be. I still think you're going to have to go through that time to develop everything back where you want it, and I don't think that comes that quick, you know. But then again, I don't do injections or nothing, so I don't know about that. Maybe it does come on quick.
Yeah, there's a lot of formidable opponents that he can be working through over the next year, I think. What do you guys think about Dennis and Hermes?
I think right now Hermes takes it pretty easily. Yeah. Dennis isn't there yet, but
no,
in
he
a
needs
year
to go back to the gym.
Yeah,
it's hard to imagine Hermes not winning.
Right. No, because he's still hungry too.
Oh,
then
yeah.
It's mostly a matter of style, because you know, that there wasn't, I think Dennis is used to being the strongest person in the room when it comes to arm wrestling. You know, he always just stonewalled people. And I feel like that was the same thing he was doing with Devin. Not a lot, there was no offense. I didn't see a bunch of adjustments. I saw a little bit of elbow movement, but yeah, I feel like for what he was doing, to be able to put the brakes on Devin was a big deal. And it might be a matter of styles, but I don't know. Wouldn't you say that Devin beat Hermes a lot more handily than he beat Dennis?
In my opinion, no.
No.
I think it was kind of equal. I think the way Don explained it was kind of how I saw it too. That Devin, it looked like to me like Derek says this. He calls it floppy fishing people, right? That's what it looked like to me. It looked like Devin was rolling through his hand, bouncing back up, rolling through his hand, bouncing back up. And every time, if you watch it, it was doing whatever Devin wanted to do. It didn't look like to me that Dennis was cupping Devin back into the center. It looked like Devin was playing with him, like he was respectfully, like the way that he still holds Dennis to a regard, regardless of the shit talk and all that. He still holds Dennis to a real high regard as an athlete, and I think that was his way of not completely embarrassing him and just like boom and doing all, he was making it look like a match. But I think round 2 he kind of demonstrated that, look, at any time I could finish this, boom, like if I want. And then round 3 kind of played with them again and did a couple of different things. I think that round 1, the diving in like you're talking about, was kind of also a sign of that, to show that I can come right at this guy. I think Devin put on a school for arm wrestling that day. That's what it looked like.
Who would you guys put in front of Dennis? Like, say 2 months out.
Like, who would be a good match
to match up with him?
Who would you
match
a
good match? You're not looking very high on the list when you're looking at his next match. Man,
somewhere in between John and Devin, right?
Yeah, he went through John, so
I would like to see him versus Jerry.
Jerry Kenner, that might be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Or Dave Chafee again.
What about Matt?
I was thinking Dave at first. I was thinking Dave at first, but I was like, nah, I'd rather see him versus.
How about Matt Mask?
Yeah, that'd be weird.
Think Matt Mask?
I mean, that also could be good. Yeah, I think anywhere around that area is probably what it seems like, because you're right as well, Kane, when you were saying there was a part where it did look like, when I'm saying that Devin dominated, doesn't mean that he didn't feel the sticky spot, because the sticky spot was obvious. Like Dennis had a freaking sticky spot where it stuck. And, maybe he is in the top, 10 right now walking back in. But yeah, I think Jerry, Dave, any of those guys that level. Yeah, Tim Bresnan, any of those guys that level right there, which is right around that floating area, is good for him. How about Derek Smith?
Ooh, that would be good. That would actually be a really good match, since it's been proven that.
I think he can get him too right now.
I know. Tell me, hey, how fucking cool would that be for fucking Derek's legacy, dude? Like his whole shit. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Man,
Ingrid, where you at?
Let's do this, Derek.
Well, I do know that Derek, well, I don't know if you'd want me to say this, but I do know Derek wants Chafee. So I know that's there. There's a couple that Derek wants right now. I won't say too much, but it's pretty obvious. Everyone knows that Derek's been wanting Dave Chafee for a while, but Dave Chafee's kind of been, dipping his toes in and out. I mean, I haven't really seen him, doing as much as he was in the past, but I don't know. But a little 3-way mixture right there with Dennis Yaplankov, Dave Chafee, and Derek. You know, you have the up and comer, you have the, you know, the guy that was really amazing until, you know, his health, you know, happened. And then Dave Chafee kind of just like, you know, kind of not fell
Always
down
good.
the ladder, but kind of, you know, didn't really give it too much. So that could be a good toss up between all three of them to see, you know, one goes against the other, then, you know, the other
When are we
goes against the winner of that.
when are we going to see a tournament where the elites are all pulling, not instead of super matches?
That hasn't happened since before COVID, man. Now it's all super matches. That's all anybody wants.
I know
Yeah,
it's
'cause
everything.
then everybody wants money, and then when everybody wants money, then it's horrible to watch because everybody's arguing with the ref, and then everybody's trying to pay the ref under the table, and then, you know, but the refs never take my money, so whatever.
Just have me ref it. I don't care who you are.
All day.
I'll call you out. Yeah, nah. I don't play that game.
Man, if I ever lose against you now, I'm gonna just say that. I'm gonna say, man, you paid him today, didn't you? They took your money.
Heck yeah, $100 in the parking lot, Don. And then after I win, you know, split him a beer or something.
Absolutely.
Split the winnings out.
There you go.
Todd Calazo had something interesting to say about
Baby.
the comment about backstories and stuff like that for East vs. West for some of these people that know as well. And I think it's a good point. He says in most combat sports, the backstories are only reserved for the main event. If you do a backstory for every match, the show would be too long, in my opinion. I do agree with that, but because of that, that's why I like the a lot of what the Arm Wars format is doing right now. It doesn't have to be the day of that you're getting background on these. You know, there's promoting the event in general the entire month or whatever, but before it happens. And you can do interviews and little featurettes and stuff like that you could put out once a week on two competitors or something like that.
Yeah, it's two sides to that coin, right? And one caters to only building the superstar, the individual superstar who's already a name, like we already know, and you see the same guys over and over again with their backstory that we already know. And the other side of that coin, though the shows would be longer and this and that, are catering to trying to grow this sport. And just like you said, there's several guys that you have no idea who they are. That's how you become a fan, is them telling me a story about this guy and like what he did to get here, and now I'm interested in him, and that now creates a way for another superstar, right? So that's what I'm saying. So yes, how they're doing it, that is how all sports do it, but that's catering to one or two guys that are getting all the loot. Right.
But I don't think they do it the way that they do it in arm wrestling. Because, I mean, like, how many times have we heard John Berzink's backstory? How many times have we heard Devin's backstory? You know, like, enough with them. Like, we want to relate to the guys that, you know, didn't just, you know, grow up arm wrestling. The guys that, you know, were, you know, a mailman that happened to try it out at a bar one day. And it's like, you know, that's what we want to hear. And if you're trying to cater to the fellow arm wrestlers, you're never going to do what the end goal is, which is open up the sport. Everyone keeps saying, open up the sport, but no one wants to listen to the people that are, you know, not arm wrestlers. People want to see a show. People want to, you know, see a movie, and that's what we need. But it's not happening. Yeah. Everyone wants to keep, you know, like the same thing. I kind of noticed this. And I know it seems like, you know, kind of currently hating on Devin right now. I'm not. Like, I love the guy. If I had, you know, Devin and Denis Chiplenkov hanging off a cliff and I could only save one, Devin all the way. I love the guy. He's such an amazing guy. But, you know, the whole story build up to it, oh, Denis, I hate you and blah, blah, blah. It's so, like, played out. Like, no, you guys don't hate each other. Like, cut it out. Like, do that with someone else. Give someone else a chance to hate someone else. It's every single match. Oh, I hate this guy, and I'm gonna destroy him. Like, yeah, okay, we get it. You guys are gonna arm wrestle. Like, give someone else a chance to have the limelight. Otherwise, all arm wrestling is gonna be Devin Larratt, and
Right.
I mean, it pretty much is right now. And it's not the way you grow the sport. It doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
The Game of Arms
that's
approach
just,
was really cool when it first came out. You know what I mean? Like the backgrounds of the teams
Oh yeah.
and the traveling and the showdown and the money and stuff like that. That was a
exactly.
great way to find out
Breakdown.
stories and stuff. Yeah.
If that
Yeah.
if that show came out today, it would be
Oh,
much more popular today than it was then. However, it's because of that show probably that some of the people that are competing today are in it, just because of watching that and the interest. So, it's kind of but I still think it came out a little too soon. The popularity wasn't really there yet enough. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it would do better today if you could
Yeah.
have a show like that.
Definitely. And back to Ricky's point in terms of, I see what you were saying. The way I relate it is who's the right people to promote arm wrestling, I guess is the way to put it. And one of the secrets to that sauce was an AMC production. Do you think it was like arm wrestlers that were running that? I don't think there's anything wrong with us, like as a community, making things happen and stuff like that. But it was because those were legit producers and directors and everything like that probably knew little to nothing about arm wrestling, but they knew how to make something entertaining and how to, make the viewer invest.
How to make it captivating.
That's
what it is.
And create a story. Yeah, a lot of that the format of that show is a very traditional format that screenwriters write for shows, for series and movies. There's plot points and stuff like that they follow to create a story and engage people into a full storyline, and that's what they did. I definitely think we need more of that. Like on a small scale, that's what Josh and I have been trying to do with this show in terms of like the showcase, getting somebody on like Evan Robinson we had on that show, who just like ascended to the open class, did well, placed, we want to know who you are and everything like that. But even at the higher level, there's just so many people. Like I want to know what Ingen knows that influenced him to put these like 8 competitors in this event that's like a very elite event. Like what does he know about these? Like where do these guys come from? What don't I know? That's the stuff that I want to know with a lot of these people.
Well, he himself was one too. He was an elite puller himself. I mean, he was pulling back when I was pulling. He come over here and spanked a bunch of people over here at Petaluma, and I saw him at a national pull, and he did good there too. So again, whenever I saw him walk in the door at Petaluma, I had one spot left when I was putting a team together, and I ran up to him. Hey, Ingen, you want to be on my team? And sure enough, he ended up winning, I think, a couple classes or something like that. And because of that, we ended up taking first place as the team. So,
hey,
Yeah.
Anyway, he ended up anchoring it for sure. But that was again, to me, he was already an elite puller, and that's why he's able to connect and with those other eliters. I think that's one of those things. If you're an elite puller, you're going to learn who all the elite guys are. It's just going to go that way. You're going to connect with them no matter what. If you're that type of puller,
Right.
it can't. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. I think any of you guys too, if you became that, you would be in that same circle of people.
Tied in. Yeah.
That's why I haven't met him yet. I'm not there yet, Don.
I know.
But in terms of building the sport, like
Hey, I'm happy just knowing you guys. Don't it ain't like that.
Todd Calazo says Smith versus Chafee. Yes. Yeah, I agree. I really like that whole Smith versus Saplankov idea too. It sounds cool, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I think either way, it ends up being a good match right now.
Well,
Yeah.
Let's plant some seeds, man. The
Yeah,
funny
they need to get that match going before Dennis drinks up all the river water.
Yeah, the funny thing about this show is like there's not a lot of viewership or whatever, but it's like this small loyal following. Like Josh and I, we both get messages from like really cool people that like watch this and follow it. And I'm starting to realize that the majority of the people that are like joining in on this little community are pretty like serious about arm wrestling. We don't really get much of the trolls or anything like that. There's not really non-arm wrestlers, but yeah, I've been really starting to appreciate that. There's a lot of like really cool vets and stuff like that, and people tied into this community that watch this. I'm real happy and real proud about that.
Yeah, because you can't say we're not serious because we do love it,
Yeah.
And when you love something, you put something into it. No matter what.
Don, I just keep showing up and putting my arm on the table, Don.
Oh, shut up. Oh,
and
stop
I see what happens. Somebody keeps taking my money. I stand on the scale.
Yeah, and you're having fun, aren't you?
All day.
That's right. That's right. As long as you're smiling and having fun, it's all worth it. And you know what though? I'll take that beer that you're gonna after you beat me. Okay.
All right, you got it.
All right.
You got one with your name on it.
Is that a whooping or a beer with his name on it?
Both, maybe. I don't know. I think it was both he was handing me.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll handle both.
Yeah, I think
both.
as soon as my arm goes down like this, I think it comes back with the beer.
That'll be good.
That's exactly how it works.
You gotta throw the arm that way, plop that baby in my hand, say, here you go.
That's been a tradition on our team since I don't know when. We started at a brewery, right? And so if we had a super match and you won, the other guy had to buy you a beer.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, at least there's something there, right?
That's cool.
Yep. I'm always good for a battle over a beer. I don't really drink that much, but I'll battle for a beer.
Sometimes like the kids would lose, right? And Junior would beat like adult, and the adult be like, I have to buy Junior a beer. We're like, yeah, get him a beer, bro. But they get him like a soda or something.
Yeah.
Well, there's a really good brewery up here in the mountains where I'm gonna be starting to hold practices.
Yeah.
Derek and I have been talking, and he wants me to get kind of a Alpha Empire Mountain chapter north or whatever we're gonna call it. So I'm gonna need help with that, guys. From you vet coaches.
Alpha Empire Elevated.
Hell yeah.
Elevated.
Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
What if you did best of 5 super matches, but you have to take 5 shots, right? Both guys take 5 shots, and then they go straight up to the table and arm wrestle after 5 shots of whiskey.
You know what would be funny, Kane? If you're gonna do that in the mountains and at the brewery up there, anybody who travels up there, dude, their first beer, they're gonna not know how the altitude hits them with the alcohol and stuff, dude. They're so screwed.
Well, yeah, we're all gonna be training up there, all oxygen rich and happy. Bring it up, yeah.
Well, everybody,
it's a good spot though. I think we're shooting for Wednesdays. and they already agreed to it, the brewery. In fact, the two guys I talked to, I believe they're both managers. They're like, at least one of them was very familiar with arm wrestling. He's, well, what do you think his first question was for me?
Have you arm
Have you
wrestled
seen Over
Devin?
the
Can you
Top?
beat Devin?
Close. Give me another name.
Have you beat
Derek
Fisher
Smith
before?
The Whisperer.
The
The
Whisperer.
Whisper. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, have you ever pulled the Whisperer? So yeah, man. No, Alan
Everybody,
Fisher. Yeah, man. Well, you say yes, we'll bring these dudes up there, man, and get this done. But they're psyched, man. They're really excited for it. So we'll probably do Wednesdays. We got to set up a little seminar date first, which I think is going to end up being on Wednesday as well. But Derek will come up. We got to get you guys up.
you have to
And,
have ET show up sometime.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm gonna put out flyers all over the mountain, the gym, the high schools, as much reach as I can get. We'll try and get a really good show up.
Yeah, after that comment, they'd probably be tickled to see him show up.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. When Ricky gets there and Lorenzo gets there and they see the Whisperer, I'll be like, all right, so you see the Whisperer? These guys are the ones that made the Whisperer right here.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah, that's my son right there.
Yeah, for real.
That's my son.
Took him under his wing a long time ago.
And every time he pulls some tricky
I think
shit
you're gonna
with,
have to go on Maury with as many sons as you have, Ricky.
yeah.
Hey, see, that goes to show that I'm actually devoted to the sport. All I do is teach, man.
I know.
Raise them up right. I got Caleb, I got freaking AT, I got a lot of good guys coming up under me, and I give them everything I know, everything I learn, and they run with it. Just so here's to hoping. I'm still trying to find more kids to adopt over here. So
Right.
yeah, I wanna make
We'll keep it going.
Yeah.
Every time ET does something tricky with me in a match, I'm not really mad at him. I'm mad at you, Ricky. Does something tricky with me. Ricky.
Yeah, why did he show him that?
Yeah.
Exactly. Benjimac is back in the house, and Yo just got back from training at the OC Strength Lab.
And
yeah, man.
Savage.
Strength Lab, that's the Kaba Hugs, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, Christian is one strong dude, bro. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
you're right.
Talking about guys that can get down to 150, man. Yeah, that guy's killing it. Yes. Yeah,
What?
150? That feels like
150? What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about Zepeda. Who are you talking about?
Zepeda. We're talking about Kaba Hug.
Kaba Hug. Oh, okay. Yeah. So is that guy really strong or what?
Yeah, man. I mean, he was strong, and then he took off for like 4 or 5 years, something like that. He came back, and he kind of didn't do too well. But I mean, within the past year, he got like right back to where he was, if not even higher than he ever was, just by I don't know if it was muscle memory that kicked in or what, but I literally saw from when he came back in, just a couple months back to now, he's a whole different animal. And if he keeps on this path this time, oh my God, he's right
there. He's right there in the running too in his tournaments. I mean, he placed third, I believe, UAL right-handed in Anaheim. And I think that was that his first tournament back?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. And I think LA, that little LA with Florida was his second one back. And I think he got a win on me, if I'm not mistaken. What was it? Right-handed, I think it was. I think he got a win on me there, and that's only his second tournament back. So that,
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's showing.
He's doing really good. So, I mean, I wish him the best because he's such a good guy. He's such a good
he's a
person.
good guy
Yeah,
too.
his spirit is amazing, dude. He's like such a great dude.
Yeah,
And yeah, I was blessed for him to ask me to have that match with him, even though he fucking spanked me. But yeah, I mean, it was just so humbling, and he was so humble about it. He was like, "Dude, we should be on the table together. It's going to be fun." And I was like, "Hey, man." But no, that dude's a monster. Like, I'm a fan of Christian Cabahug for sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, like if he
He's
wanted
one of
if he
them
wanted to
guys
super
walk
match
in,
me
make
at
us smile.
85, yeah. I wouldn't want to deal with him. If he wanted to super match with me, like I'd have to get serious for a minute and like hit it really hard because I'm hoping he stays, big 205, stuff like that. Because oh my God, he's something else. I just wish more of us had it in ourselves to do what he's doing because he's got his gym. That's I think one of his sources of income that he does. So he's able to stay around the weights all day and he loves it. His family's a part of it. That's the biggest part. If you get your family to be a part of physical fitness,
that support system, man.
Right,
Guys that live in.
He's training them, and while he's training them, he's training himself too.
Yeah.
Just
you just
curling
put
his
good
kids and
people
stuff.
around you, and you can move mountains, bro.
There you go.
I'm telling you.
Todd says
I'll still beat him.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna say that right now. I'll still beat him.
Set it
Love
up.
my dude.
That's right.
I'm coming for him.
Yeah, and we got Todd getting Elijah ready for the
I gotta get one
press.
too.
Yeah, are any of you guys doing the pull hook press in San Diego? 26.
December 26th?
Yeah, no, that one's gonna be November 26th. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
3
with
days
Elijah
after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's the weekend. Yeah, the weekend after.
It's a tough weekend to have a tournament.
It's a very rough date, but
who's doing that one?
Dave
Depew.
Yeah, I'm real excited for Elijah. Todd's been trying to get him set up with like a match, and it sounds like they're open to Elijah pulling the 154 men's amateurs. So yeah, I'm psyched to see that. I think it mostly depends on how many people show up for any of the youth classes. But
I think our team has most of the youth right now because we have Elijah.
Yeah.
The other kid that was just there this last practice too. We have quite a bit now.
Kid, yeah.
We get quite a few youth, but how many of them are going to be willing? How many of them are going to be willing to go to San Diego?
Right. Whatever it is, wherever it is, I definitely want to see Elijah pull 154 amateurs. Just mostly for the experience and the competition. But yeah, was feeling him at that watch party. That kid's getting stronger, man. His adjustments are good. But yeah, I think he could hang with the amateur 154s for sure, at least enough to get some like good experience and competition. Well, what do you guys think?
I think he'll do really well as long as he keeps his weight down because he's going to be a big guy like his dad. His dad's a big tall guy. So I think it might be hard because he's going to go through that growth spurt and expect his strength level to be on that same spurt, and it doesn't work like that. So it's going to be very difficult. And if he can work through that, then I'm sure we could see him doing great things. But if he keeps his weight at a minimum, he can follow that track exactly how he wants to, but he's going to have to stay light because that big frame is going to start wanting to put a lot of weight on and very fast over these next couple of years where, he starts developing into a young man. So I think that's the only issue he faces. The rest, the intensity on the table, the want, the drive, it's all there. I see it. The willingness to learn is there. So he has it all. but it would be the weight that he just needs to keep in check, and that'll keep him on track.
Yeah, he's doing good with the weight right now. I believe he's been trying to stay or even drop a little bit. I know he's hovering right there to be able to pull the 154s if it's soon. But you do bring a good point. That kid's going to start growing quick. He is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing about when they're young like that. And if they have, they're going to grow up to be really big, they start going through the weight classes really quick.
Yep.
Through at one point, I mean, Kenny Hughes did the same thing when he was a kid, and pulling the 154s. And then next thing you know, he's had to go up and then through the 76 and up to 80, 85s and 98s. And he starts just growing. He can't help it. Once they hit that spot, it's almost like, just nature's control, because when they're in a sport and they're bodybuilding and while they're growing into it, as they mature, man, they can really bulk up and get big. I mean, it's like really, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. It's just that you just can't help it when they're going to have that kind of frame.
Yeah. Elijah's training, especially since he works so hard in the gym and consistently, it seems to be pretty laser focused, and Todd's a great coach for him. It really could play to his advantage too, as he grows. I mean, look at guys like David Terrell, man. That kid's 16 years old, and he's not done growing for sure.
He's 18 now.
18 now, but yeah, I mean, even at 16, he was killing it, I think. But yeah, he's like number one at 18 years old. It's Tennessee, right? Number one in Tennessee right now, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid's.
He said the only person he hasn't pulled over there is Bresnan, and he's not going to say that he's above Bresnan, even though the rankings show that. But yeah, I mean he's the dude. I mean he walked through Tim's son, so yeah, that dude's pretty incredible. But look at Minor, man. Look at Mike's son. I mean, Minor is like pretty incredible himself, and he's a big kid. I mean, he's like growing into that frame and able to keep himself trimmed down, and he has a strong hand. He's another one that could be really, really, really good.
Right.
Yeah, Minor's going to be something to watch for sure.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
I like whatever Mike's doing with him in terms of, like, I don't know, because it seems like however Minor's training, it seems to be healthy. It looks like he's growing at a healthy rate. Just like his frame is growing, and once he's, I don't know, maybe once that frame is fully developed, he can really start stacking on some muscle, and that's going to be scary when that moment comes. You know what I mean? But yeah, right now he's just a skinny kid with a strong hand and a fast hit, and he's just getting taller and taller, and that frame's getting bigger. But yeah, man, as soon as he stacks on the muscle like his pop, dude, that kid's gonna be scary.
Yeah, Mega Minor.
The Mega Minor.
Yeah.
Well,
I think Evan's going to get scary too when he gets older.
Yeah,
Evan.
he my son.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Todd.
I think
just
all
keep
them
away from them girls, Josh.
Yeah.
The what?
You gotta keep them away from them girls.
Yeah, I
know.
Take them away from everything.
Yeah, Todd says Elijah's down to 157 right now.
Hey, good job.
162 2 weeks ago.
Right.
He dropped a few names here. I don't know if it's guys that are actually going to be competing coming up here, but he said Jaden, Matt, Corey, Elijah, Corey again, and Kaleo. So
And that was Kaleo
Yeah.
and Corey.
The Alpha Empire Youth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, so there's two Corys. I know there's the Corey we had on the show. He's older, but he's like a 130.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Who's the other Corey?
The other Corey, he's 16.
Yeah.
Relatively new to us, or
Relatively new. He I think Josh brought him. Josh on our team. He was one of the friends with one of the cousins, one of those guys,
yeah,
Manny, or I think
right.
friends with Manny, and then Corey started coming by himself,
Okay.
even without those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he for 16, he's very, very strong. He was a wrestler. So did wrestling since he was real young, and so you can tell on his body type, he's just thick all over, but at a really good weight,
Nice. Yeah, and there is Manny and Ethan. Those guys are pretty light dudes and very, very talented. We got a lot of lightweight dudes on Alpha Empire.
That's what I'm saying. 154 class, we need it.
Yeah.
These guys around here don't know where the excitement is. It's 154 and below. But I mean,
you know what it might be, Ricky, when those bigger guys go to practice and someone skinny like me, or if they're a lot bigger and someone like little Derek or you beat them or Kane beats them, and then their whole world got shattered, and then we need to start letting people beat us, bro.
Yeah.
Just at practice. Not get crazy.
Practice not let everybody beat me.
We're not getting ahead of ourselves here.
Yeah. Just at practice.
Yeah, Todd says Miner's already 220 pounds.
Ooh.
I just saw him in San Diego. Yeah, he looks skinny to me. He looks healthy, but
he's also tall.
Wait,
yeah, bones weigh.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. I really appreciate you coming on. That was a fun chat. And anybody that's tuning in, hit the like button, the subscribe, share this if you can, pass it on. And definitely tune in Saturday for Jamie Barrett. We'll have him on, get to know him a little bit. We're talking the number 165 guy in Australia who trains all the time with Lachlan Adair and Ryan Bowen, and nice guy. And he has some of the best endurance in terms of anybody that I've pulled with. That last little trip he made out here when he stayed with you guys for Mr. Olympia. I mean, dude, that guy was pulling like nonstop for like 2 weeks out here. He went to
even at the house with me and Leo kept yelling, "Get off the table, Jamie. Get off the table."
Yeah, that guy's nuts and I love it. All right, so that'll be I think what we planned it for was 3 p.m. on Saturday. And since he's Australian and from the future, that means it'll be 9 a.m. Sunday for him. So everybody tune in Pacific time. That's going to be 3 p.m. on Saturday.
Hey, if we can hang on, for like 15 more minutes, I think we can watch Josh go to sleep.
Yeah. As entertaining as that sounds.
I'm not yawning. I'm coughing. I have an itch in my throat.
Oh, no. Come on now. I'm watching them eyes. You're blinking a lot. They start to do a little roll behind the head now and then, come back into focus. I'm watching you.
It's all these scented candles.
I know those saucy candles, man. The lighting, it's making me tired. Oh.
They're too spicy.
All right, guys. And thank you.
We're on show 27, Kane. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but just a couple
27's my lucky number, bro.
Same here.
There it is.
See, this is a good show. It's a good show.
What am I not aware of?
It's going to be our 1 year anniversary of the show. It's coming up quick. We're already on our 10th month.
Really?
All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It was like quick.
We're ending the ninth. February was our first show. Yeah.
You know what was beautiful about it was we never started this with the preconceived notion that we were going to do some sort of like, ongoing YouTube podcast. It was 100% about North versus South.
Right.
We wanted to promote a really great concept, a really great event. And then we were like, dude, this is
Hey, it was actually the after party, the party house where you and I talked about this and said, hey, we should do a thing where we talk. Yeah.
I enjoy all the shows. I think it's a neat deal. As soon as you guys did them, I was hoping, man, I hope you guys don't stop. That was fun stuff.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I just appreciate to be here, man.
Right. I mean,
Love
you don't have a whole lot of arm wrestling shows, or open discussion like that very much, especially when it's with your peers, all the other guys.
Yeah.
It's not just your elite show, it's us show. So I like that. And I like all the people you have on there, all the gals too. It's been really fun watching.
You guys know that Kane and I, we both feel the same way in that you guys that come on here and are guests with the show are the foundation and the loyal, small group of people that we have that's watching this is the only ones that, make it possible and why we, are able to keep doing it. So, thank you guys for supporting and helping, Kane and I do this stuff and keep it going. Because you guys are exciting people to talk to. You guys are the ones that we look up to and that know so much about the sport and makes these shows exciting and us have topics to to chase after and things to pinpoint. So
we're just kids that want to play.
Yeah. But well said, guys. And I remember when we first started like doing this Beyond North versus South, and we kind of had an idea of what we wanted to do with it. I talked to a few people with like successful channels and stuff, primarily to get dates right. Like, what day are we going to do this? We don't want to like, cross over with other people's channels. And I had people like saying, well, that's cool what you're doing, but like, no one's going to watch, like, it's not going to like blow up or anything like that. If you're going to cater to all the the smaller folks in the community and showcasing new people. And Josh and I talked about that. We're like, no, this is like exactly why we got to do it. But yeah.
Now, if you can get the big guest in now and then, that's fun too. There's nothing wrong with a mix of anything,
Hey, we had the female goat on this show, baby.
Right.
We did.
Right. That's right.
But that in itself, like, Gabby does get the credit she deserves, I think, especially in terms of like the non-arm wrestler that are fans and stuff like that.
Because we all love her.
And we all know exactly what she's done. But one of my favorite things in terms of like the bigger people that we can get on in terms of utilization is like endorsement of the newer people. Like I like seeing like the bigger names. Like, if we could get some of the bigger names, like that has somebody in their camp, their state, their team, or whatever, that's like, this is who I think you guys need to get to know. This person, like the top guy in Texas is like, hey, we got this girl, we got this guy, or whatever. And have both of them bring them on and tell us why.
I think too, if there's a way we can get more people like Josh did, where he had Terrell come over, someone who do maybe some articles or throw things out there in the news a little bit, even if it's local news, it's some kind of news to where it's gonna be thrown out into the public. And maybe even put a story. Huh?
I finished that actually at 5 p.m. Today, before this podcast. I did the final interview with Terrell.
Oh, really?
For him to talk about like why we put everything together, blah blah blah, what we do, and now he's editing everything, and then he's going to release the story this weekend. So
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that things like that, again, the more we can hit the non-arm wrestlers to know that, that we're a sport, and if this might grab you in any way while even watching it, we'd enjoy to have you as a fan, that kind of thing, because the more your fan base is, the more you can grow too. They don't have to just be competitors. And I think if how can we have a fan base if they don't even know we exist? And I still think there's so much of that out there, because again, every time I bring up I did some kind of professional arm wrestling, oh, that's the thing, huh? Oh, and then all of a sudden I got this feeling over me like I'm weird or something now. Oh, did I say something wrong? Shoot, I thought I was trying to start a nice conversation here, but you kind of got that grin on your face like I'm ridiculous now. But that's how it comes across to a lot of people. They don't even really know it's a thing at all. And I think that, again, getting that out there can actually help us more, because there's going to be people that'll see Ricky Pole and man, they all of a sudden, for some reason, they like that dude when he's at the table. Yeah, I like that. He's fire or whatever, and you start getting people that are just watching you because you got a fan base now. I mean, didn't you have you had a couple of those kids even come up to Casey, wasn't it? Just by him seeing his Josh, his videos and stuff, wasn't it? They had a couple kids come up to Casey and yeah, I follow you, this and that, and I think that's cool, because now you got these kids that are even seen you out there, and now they're wanting to follow you. So the more a fan base we can get and get that word out there, I think the better. So again, the more ETs we have out there, the better too, because he really hit a lot of people.
Yeah. I'm really what really surprised me with ET is because he's an arm wrestler. Even though he's an arm wrestler, he's still able to see through the scope, I feel like, of what non-arm wrestlers are interested in seeing, from a production standpoint and all that good stuff. That's why I thought it was so brilliant, Josh, to want to bring Terrell on, because that to me, that still bounces back to that whole theory with Game of Arms and AMC and everything like that. Like I want to know what a producer and an engineer, a talent like Terrell sees when he looks into our community and everything like that, and what he thinks is cool about it, and how he would project that. But yeah, Don, you're 100% right. North versus South, there was kids running around asking for to sign their strap, their arm wrestling strap, different arm wrestlers. And then the event, Ricky and I and Josh were at the high desert. Kids were handing out high fives and stuff to competitors. It was, hey, come pull my dad, stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's what you want to see. Part of why I'm really hyped about the Kringle pull too. I mean, a good portion of the spectatorship is going to be kids, what it's all about, and I can't wait for them to see Santa pull the Grinch. Man, it's going to be good stuff.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Hey,
I'm hoping to bring my grandson too.
Oh, cool, man! Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Ricky pull right at the. I think it was Riverside. It was Riverside Lock and Loaded qualifier, right? And like he goes up to the table and he has like fucking button-up shirt and a tie on and everything like that.
That's right. That's right.
I was like, this dude right here has some balls, right? And he goes up there and he's like, hell of an arm wrestler. And I'm like, oh, this is tight. Right away, when I saw you roll up like that, I was like, oh, this is type of stuff that like sells.
Yeah.
Because like it's what this businessman is like rolling up here. I mean, you do a different line of work, but you know what I'm saying? Like you like dress super flashy and nice, and that's like it's appealing. It's appealing to the eye. It's like, hey man, what's going on over here?
Style.
That's one of my biggest gripes with arm wrestling. I feel like the easiest thing to do to push this sport forward, have a dress code. You got guys showing up in their work clothes, and it just looks like, I mean, sorry, but like I can say it as a carpenter, I work out in the freeways and the dirt and the dust. Man, clean up and, look right. You're in front of people. So, I mean, yeah, you're with your buddies, but you're in public. Like, do something for the sport by coming out here in your nice clothes and then go at it. That looks so much cooler than a guy in, the gym shirt and, all this and that trying to do it. It looks,
some of them, some of the competitions tell you that they want you to wear their shirts or a certain shirt. So where they want their whatever their tournament shirt
promotion
is
on it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
See,
and
like
they
that's
want you to
fine.
wear it.
If everyone's wearing the same thing, that looks good. But when when you got this guy wearing, a shirt with holes in it or, the wife beater on, it just looks absolutely trashy. That's why, I try to do my part and, look right and, hopefully, I catch someone's eye and someone, wants to, follow suit and,
Do I need to put my hair up?
No, yeah.
So our team jersey, Ricky, did you have a hand in that being like a nice business polo and all that?
Yes.
Really? Okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, those things are slick. They definitely look professional.
We all had the image of like what a professional arm wrestler was, and what we had in our mind of a professional arm wrestler is a polo shirt, bro. But we just wanted ours black.
Yeah.
No, back in the 70s, that's how it was in the 70s. Everyone was polo shirt, nice, slacks or jeans, no holes in them, with a nice leather belt.
I have a black champion shirt that I won, which is actually a polo shirt too.
Mm-hmm. See, I feel like that was our way of a nod to the old school, and then with our newer logo and everything on it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I think that's an important, factor just in terms of like, how the sport is perceived from spectators and everything like that. It doesn't help to look like a bunch of like drunken truck drivers or something like that. But
well, now that you just said that, the world does think of that we're a bunch of Lincoln Hawks.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. It's when it's
and if we're gonna play that game, and again,
community.
They call me the Smasher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I personally wear my I guess they're work boots when I compete, but like or when I train, but for me it's for functionality. But yeah, I love our sharp jerseys and stuff like that. The thing I can't stand, there's some guys that will compete in sneakers, like running shoes, with like a hook in the front. And those are like made to propel you forward, in that kind of movement.
I don't mind that because their toes are completely covered. And I would hate for me to step on someone or to take someone's toenail off because they're wearing flip-flops.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That could happen too. That could happen.
You know what I'm saying? And or stepping on some, because even if you win or you lose, whatever, you still unintentionally hurt someone that you weren't trying to hurt,
Right.
Yeah, I like the anchor point and the flatness, at least with these boots. They make me feel more like neutral. But in running shoes, I feel like I'm being thrusted forward to the opponent's side of the table, just because of that kind of arch, in running shoes. I have been curious about, I've seen what Paul Stevens wears, his wrestling shoes, I think. And those are like really flat and probably comfortable, athletic, like not obstructing in any way. But I don't know if I'd like it being like a light guy. I like how boots kind of give me that little bit of extra anchored weight, to the ground.
Why did people drift away from the platforms?
Oh,
Because they're embarrassed.
Oh
Because
yeah,
they're embarrassed.
And it's hard to find. Polacek was the last one to bring them back home.
Man, all you
Yeah.
gotta do is just paint yourself up to look like Kiss, and you'll look just fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've seen in tournaments, Polacek, and then
Don McCleary.
oh man, what's his name that
Don
used to
McCleary.
arm wrestle
Don.
Derek all the time?
Don McCleary.
McCleary, there you go.
They're still using it.
Yep.
Yeah, McCleary still does. Ricky from Pismo used to wear them too.
Oh yeah.
I never seen anybody really wear those like those punk rock platforms. You know which ones I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You're not like Doc Martens.
No.
The
The ones from
Tux.
the Matrix.
What'd you say, Ricky?
They're the Tux. They're like
They look like a tuxedo sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes they'll be
yeah.
leopard print. But
Yeah,
super flat.
It's TUK. The company's name is Tuck. It's TUK.
Okay.
Yeah, those are badass. I had a pair of those when I was coming up in the hard rock scenes, and those
Yeah.
You know what? Hey, you know what? And they have their main seller is black and white. I might grab me a pair.
Yeah, why not?
Because they look nice too. They look the
slick.
part, So
Yeah, I'm sure they still sell them somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen them in a little bit, but
Hey, I would do it. I'll tell you what, like, so forever I just arm wrestle at the table, I'm like, I'm big enough, I don't need a riser. I started using a riser, bro. And I probably wouldn't mind having some platforms. I'm just saying, bro, like them few inches makes with my belly button sitting at the table as opposed to under the table, it makes all the difference in the world. To where I can get.
Yeah. I can't even imagine the table being at my stomach all the time.
I'm gonna have to try it just to see what it's like.
I'm telling you, it's Kevin's actually the one who told me. He's like, you never tried pulling with the riser? I'm like, no. And he's like, well, in your weight class, all the guys are taller than you. Why not? Yeah. I said, oh, well, that makes sense. So I started trying to do it, and it felt like I freaking reached new heights just using the riser. Yeah.
Good,
it didn't feel like you were bowling with the bumpers or nothing, huh?
I wouldn't if it helped me, like I wouldn't be like embarrassed about it or anything. I think some people like they don't want to like be the one to pull out a riser, but
when it comes to that,
I'd worry about like is it awkward to like stand and do the movements on? I'd be afraid that I'd step right off that thing, or slip off it or.
So that's the exact problem I have with the riser is that there's a part of arm wrestling where your feet are kind of adjusting, and if you slip off, there goes your whole concentration. That's why for a few years I was adapting to it, and I was doing really well on it, but I realized it wasn't suited for me in the sense that I'd like to be mobile and move around. As you guys know, I like to adjust constantly. And anytime my foot would slip off, my mind would go to, oh, where's my foot? I got to get back over here. And, I could only stay in this little box with my feet because of it. But if you're more of a planet style arm wrestler, then it's for you.
Because a lot of times if you're going right-handed, your left leg might go out past the table somewhat.
Yeah,
and that's awesome.
The shape of the riser, there's not enough room. Like Ricky said, and I find the same thing. You're sacrificing leg movement for gaining a little bit of height. So yeah, like obviously if they upgraded it and it was more like a T to where it fit perfectly under the table and it had like a T wide platform in the back that you couldn't step up it, then yeah, it would probably be super helpful.
More ideal, yeah.
Because if you give up that, you got to make sure you don't step off, and you're shortening your stride.
Yeah, if you're competing UAL or pretty much any event that the Collinses are involved with. They've got those, what is those Mazarenko tables or whatever. I don't think those would be obstructing at all. It's a pretty big platform that just kind of conforms, if I remember correctly, into the
those are awesome.
Problem is you want something to train on like that too. And if you're training on all the little wood box risers all the time, that's still gonna, whatever bad habits you pick up trying to stay in that confined space is going to transfer over to one of those Mazarenko tables too.
I think a lot of us do go up on our toes before we hit anyway. And so we're already rising up on our toes at that table before we hit. And I'm wondering if we had platform, if we would even rise up anymore or worry about that.
Yeah.
To the moon, Don.
Huh?
Well, it takes away some of that.
Yeah.
Because I think it's mainly for my right hand because I pull, like I said, inside with the hook. So with the riser, I'm able to stand over my hand and be on top of it and pull it in, as opposed to being behind my hand, looking at my hand and trying to pull it back. Yeah. So it gives me more for inside. For the outside, again, like Ricky is talking about, it probably takes away a lot trying to get that good hit and spread out and whatnot. Yeah. But if you're gonna dive inside with somebody, I could see how the riser would help.
Well, get them risers ready. Let's check it out this weekend.
Well, I have the wood ones. I have wood ones. But yeah, I mean they work. They work. But now I'm worried about looking at bad habits like Kane just says. So. Shoot.
Well, hey, we tried. We stayed 15 more minutes, and he didn't fall asleep.
No.
Almost had him. We almost had him.
Don.
Damn it, Don.
So
hey, wouldn't that be funny if we had like a little thing and it was like a montage and I fall asleep on every show just for a minute? He plays it back and he's like, "This is all the times during the shows that Josh just falls asleep." That'd be horrible. I probably
started
look like
on
I'm
the 27th show.
Yeah, exactly. Lucky number 27.
All you earthlings that are down at sea level, is it raining down there?
Yes, it was. Yeah. It was trickling.
It rained up here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it snowing up there with you, Kane?
We might get a little bit Saturday, but yeah, not today. I think we're only going to get into the high 30s or maybe low 40s tonight. But it might get cold enough Saturday, and we are expecting rain. So
last year you got buried in it.
Lucky me, I got my birthday on Saturday for the first time in, well, how many years has it been to get to a Saturday? And then sure enough, 95% chance of rain. So I'm like, great. You know, everything's gonna be raining. No driving around. None of that. I'm gonna be.
It's gonna be a drink. It's gonna be a drinking birthday.
Oh yeah, it is. But like, we're gonna have to drink indoors because I won't even trust my Uber, man. That's gonna be crazy out there.
No.
Just when you're drinking at home, just make one of those nice Hawaiian cocktails with like an
there you go.
Pull out the lounge chair.
Put yourself there. Yeah.
Have the kids fanning me off.
We'll get you Barrett to bring in a bunch of like Aussie accent, you know, that sing you happy birthday, you know.
That'd be cool.
Well, all right, guys. Yeah. Thanks everybody in the chat, and thanks anybody that was watching and everything like that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much, Don, for always coming on. You're the man. Thank you, Lorenzo. Always love having you. And thank you.
Glad to be here.
Mr. Pretty Ricky. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and always, Josh, thanks a ton, man. So we will be seeing you guys again on Saturday. Have a good rest of the week.
Salute.
Bye, guys.